Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We're Sports Time, and we're with you for the next 3 hours to get you to your weekend. A little bit of a rainy Friday here as we've had some pop-up showers pretty much all day. I know right here at our studios we've got some rain coming down, but nonetheless it's a Friday, which makes it a great day, and we've got plenty of things to talk about. A lot of Major League Baseball news, trade deadlines getting closer and closer, and we're finally seeing some trades come to fruition. Also opening ceremonies going on right now in Paris. So a lot to get to over these next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well, and it's raining in Paris. Boy, I mean coming down in buckets right now. Not a dry thread of anybody that's outdoors. And LeBron James was trying to stay dry with a rain poncho that was about 2 sizes too small.
That's
and
right.
As is often the case, you get wetter trying to stay dry with those
Yes.
than if you just say to heck with it.
Yes.
But it has been magnificent, and the NBC coverage of it and capturing that beautiful place. I've only been once, but it is magnificent, and I know everybody that goes is just enchanted by it, and it's something to see, and how they had rolled it out. I'm so sorry that they had this crummy a day. First rain, Mike Tirico's so good. Look, I know he fully prepared, probably been in cram courses and all kind of briefings and preparation for it, but he nails it. And he said first rain at an opening ceremony since Helsinki, Finland in 1952.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
Summer Olympics shouldn't have rain, should it?
You would hope not, but I guess here we are. So no, it's been fun though. I was watching it earlier. I'm gonna watch the replay later tonight. Melinda and I are planning on watching it.
Wasn't a spoiler alert on the rain?
No. I think weather misses the spoiler alert.
And there have been some moments with the animation and the creation of today of what? Interesting though.
It certainly has that Paris touch to it, I guess you could say. I think everything is very. At least what I saw earlier, I saw kind of the start, and then probably I watched about an hour into it maybe earlier today. And yes, everything has kind of that Paris artistic touch to it, I can say.
Had the opening flame with a mask on the jogger.
Yes.
On rooftops in Paris.
Yes.
Be careful, don't slip.
Be careful. But no, it's been cool to watch, and obviously everybody boating in on the river, and it looks really cool. And they even mentioned, and Peyton Manning's been on the broadcast today, which is awesome. And I think it might have been Peyton that mentioned it, that all of these boats have seating in them. Like, they have it to where if the Olympians want to sit down, they've got a spot to sit down at. Nobody's sitting down during the opening ceremony.
All on top.
Everybody is having so much fun, so excited. And so it has been really, really cool to see. Yeah, I have it on my iPad. They just came back, and yes, everybody's still very excited, but very wet nonetheless.
The coverage is just stunning. Just the vistas and the panoramic views of that city, and we'll get down to the sports, and that's what it's for. But it's for other things. And NBC's trying to draw in audience of people that doesn't know the Gambian athletes from the Liechtenstein athletes.
That's right. And so
like me, I don't know. And I always love it. And invariably, when the tiny nation of Liechtenstein, it's always introduced as that one athlete.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's Mr. Big in a whole country.
Gotta be. I mean, good for him, and representing a whole country on his back.
How about that?
But, yeah, no, it is cool to see, and the way they're doing it, if anybody hasn't watched the opening ceremonies today, they have some countries get their own boat, but a lot of them, they've got these bigger boats that they've got about 3 or 4 countries on. Sharing them. And so it is interesting to see, like, some will have 100 people on the boat, and then right next to them in a different section on the same boat, there's a country with like 6 people that are representing the Olympics. So it's really cool to see, and obviously everybody just taking so much pride in being there. And so yeah, it's been fun to watch this earlier today. I guess I was gonna say this morning, but I guess it was this afternoon when it really started.
2 countries not separated at all by alphabet, and not separated that much by boundaries, but they're not sharing boats around in Iraq.
Yes, no, not sharing boats there, and it's fun to watch. And there was one country, I forgot what country it was, but it was a very small country that had their own boat, and it was almost like a little speedboat, and it had like four or five guys on
like
it, and
James Bond.
Maybe not that much, but it kind of had that look of like a very small boat and kind of wood paneled, and so it's been cool to see. See all of this excitement, and before long we'll have events. I think first events for tomorrow begin at 2 a.m. our time.
A lot of tennis.
Yes, so we're gonna get after it.
And judo.
Judo. Gotta shout out judo. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Now, I wouldn't want to mess with anybody in judo, would you?
No. I'll pass on the judo. I've never
one shot to the ribs might be enough.
I've never participated in judo before.
No.
But
we'll get to that. Save it.
We will. But I do not want to start. I can assure you of that. So it's going to be. It has been fun to watch, and I'm excited for, like you mentioned, 5 o'clock when we go through all of this. I know I'll mention it again a little bit later when we set up the show, but 2028 Olympic basketball team roster. The sports we've participated in or we've done that are happening this year in the 2024 Olympics, and then those are the Olympics. We'll also get to a college football playoff bracket and results. A lot to do in that 5 o'clock segment. We might have to save some of it for 5:30, but we'll get it all in.
Might have to roll into 6:30.
Might have to, but no, it's I'm ready for the Olympics. I'm fired up.
I am too. Once every 4 years, I always have enjoyed it and really going to enjoy this time.
Yeah.
And when we get to those sports, of course, we're not talking about we've done it at an Olympic level. When I talk about I've been rowing, know I haven't done it competitively any more than I played football or baseball or basketball that competitively at any high level. But we'll get to it. One thing about boxing, you ever had on boxing gloves?
I have had boxing gloves on.
We had them every boxing match. Always started out very scientific, kind of, and ended up in a big brawl.
Yes.
Ended up big swinging overhand brawl.
Oh yeah.
Gloves come off,
of course. I can't remember. I think maybe like Tennessee, they have a weekend that they have like the fraternities put up people and they have like boxing matches and stuff.
Oh yeah, we had it fight night.
Exactly, and so we didn't have that.
The fights in the stands were great.
Oh, absolutely. But you're absolutely right. I love watching those videos because every time it's these like frat guys and they start off and they want to try to be really technical, and then we're just swinging our arms everywhere. And so yes,
you ought to see the parking lot often at fight night.
Exactly. But I've had boxing gloves on. I wouldn't say I have boxed though. I've light jabs, but nothing crazy. That's for sure.
No, I never even did boys club or anything like that.
Right? Yeah.
Because a shot right to the schnoz.
Yeah. No, that does not seem like a lot of fun. But outside of the Olympics, a lot of baseball news coming out as trades are really starting to roll in. And last night we had a small trade and then kind of a bigger trade with the Mariners and the Rays with Randy Arozarena going to Seattle. So that's definitely interesting. And then even into today we've had some interesting trades. So it really feels like last night was kind of the start of that avalanche, and now we're really going to see things pick up.
Help me and help our listeners with the Phillies and the Orioles trade.
Okay, yeah. Oh, man.
Why? Because they could very well – that could be the World Series.
You're
rematch
absolutely
of the
right.
83 series.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. And, when I saw the trade, I was like, okay, like this is a fine trade, I guess, but it wasn't a trade that I really expected. We talked a lot. Baltimore needs some pitching. And so and I'm sure they're still going to go out and get pitching. So yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't really much understand this. I know they got a relief pitcher from Philadelphia in it. Mm-hmm. So like maybe that was kind of the big part of it. Christian Pache has kind of been a guy.
It's how loaded the Orioles are.
Exactly.
To do Austin Hayes.
100%. And so like. I guess a good trade for both sides.
Started the All-Star game last year.
That's right. And so, I guess you can make a case that Baltimore gets a relief pitcher for their bullpen. They certainly need bullpen help, pitching help in general. Baltimore does. The Phillies, on the other hand, they get an extra bat. I don't know if they really need an extra bat, but I guess
change
you
of
can never have
location
too
for
many.
him after stumbling start.
Definitely for him, and maybe I guess if you're Baltimore, I'm sure the Phillies probably just trying to get rid of Pache, and maybe if you're Baltimore, you can try to say, very young guy, only 25 years old, you put him in there with all the rest of the young guys that they have, not only at the majors, but at AAA, and that at some point he could probably get his footing, because Christian Pache was a highly touted prospect coming out and just has not been able to click since he's gotten to the major. So that one was a little, it was an interesting trade for sure.
This could end up being that trade that the proverbial helps both teams.
Sure, no, it absolutely could, 100%. And it's not, I didn't look at it as like a major trade that's going to really affect either team that much. But you're right. I think both teams can benefit from what they got in this. And so, like you said, this is definitely a matchup that we could see down the road in October. And so, who knows? We'll see. But I do think both those teams. I think that's just the start. I feel like both those teams make more moves.
The Rays and the Mariners love trading with each other. The 15th trade they've had over the last few years. I'd be scared to death to deal with the Rays on any trade.
Oh, yeah, and John and I were talking about that. Yeah, I don't think you ever feel comfortable dealing with them because of what they've done in the past. And,
they're fearless.
Oh, yeah, and, they can try to – I mean, I honestly think the Rays can get something out of anybody.
They sure can.
Whether it's a lot or just a little.
And then Kevin Cash makes it work on the field.
That's right. And so this one's interesting. Obviously, Mariners need bats. Hitting has been atrocious, just put it like it is, for Seattle this year. So you go and you get Randy Arozarena, a guy who's struggled this year, but, kind of has turned himself into Mr. Playoff and really comes up in big spots when it's postseason time. And so you're hoping that he can give you a spark, and especially come postseason play, that he can, really, hit the ground running and give you a good bat. And right now with Julio out of the lineup, he's injured right now.
But they
definitely need another bat. Oh, they've got to do more.
They got
to do more. But maybe they get another big name. I don't know if they get another flashy name outside of that. It's going to be a weird situation for Seattle. I think that's going to be a team to keep a close eye on, because they could very easily miss the playoffs this year, and I don't think it would surprise me at all.
A lot more baseball at 4:30. You're going to set it all up in a second. Also, Brian, 2 days in a row, and I'm not going to start a new trend with this. I'm going to start with a big number, and then I'll have our big number when we get to it.
All right.
Today, 81, as in 81st birthday for Sir Michael Philip Jagger, the front man for the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger.
Happy birthday, Mick Jagger.
Defying medical odds.
Honestly.
For 60 years.
Defining a lot of odds.
Yeah.
That is incredible. That is definitely worthy of bringing a big number.
Just wrapped up tour
early.
in Branson on Sunday night.
Really?
Who knew? Yeah, they played Branson.
That
Sunday
is
night.
a shocker.
Buddies of mine went that are around my age,
great.
old 60-something. They all had to take off Monday, and Jagger's out there killing it.
Look at
81.
I love that. That's great. Wow. Mick Jagger. Happy birthday. That's great.
Party bus left Little Rock. They invited me on it. I said, not a chance. Not a prayer. Years ago, I retired from the party bus trips.
Yeah. Oh, man. A good
That's
party
not a place
bus
for a guy
trip.
that doesn't drink.
No.
It's just not.
Not a lot to do on a party bus.
Oh,
if
you can
don't
have
drink.
fun. We're going to have games,
That's right.
and we'll have it.
Games.
No. I know the games that are going to be played.
Yeah, that's right. Not much to do on a party bus when you don't drink, I'm afraid.
No, it's really not.
Maybe
I tell you what you do is when you get to your site, you find a different way to get home.
Exactly, that's right.
That's what you do on a party bus.
Right. Oh,
I've got this question for our Sissy's Log Cabin text line. 4 years from about right now, we will be having the opening ceremonies for the Los Angeles Olympics. It'll be the third time for Los Angeles to host, 1932, 1984, and in 2028. And we still haven't got the Olympic flame, the cauldron lit in Paris yet, so we don't know who's doing that. And that's always the seminal moment of the opening ceremonies. Here's my question. Who should be lighting it in 2028? Hit us up at the text line 901-360-8255. You know it'll be American.
Of course.
Probably will be somebody with some California roots, background, etc. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
But hey, don't you think you have to have been an Olympian to do it at some point in your?
I would think so. Yes.
So that would probably knock out Tiger Woods, Southern California boy,
Yeah.
proud Californian,
Right.
but
Yeah.
he's never been on the Olympic team.
Yeah.
What about LeBron James?
Could definitely
Especially
be
if he adds
Bron.
one more to the Lakers.
Sure. No. he
Which
could
by my
definitely be
count,
him.
one, because
Sure.
bubble.
Well,
man.
yes, but one more if you're counting.
But I do have the perfect person.
Okay, and it's not LeBron.
No,
Okay, who is it?
Magic Johnson.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
No doubt.
That's a slam dunk. Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah. No, I say that's the answer.
It would move a generation
Uh-huh.
similarly to Muhammad Ali in Atlanta in 1996.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. I love that.
But I'm open for all guesses at
Give us the
901-360-8255.
That's right. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. Very busy show today. 3:30, Alan Bell from the AB3 and Driving the Line. He'll join us to talk some wagering. We'll ask him about some of these trades that have been made ahead of the deadline, but also we'll get some picks from him for
You think he's giving out judo picks?
Well, we got to ask him anything Olympics.
Well,
I doubt
I would
judo.
assume you can bet on tennis, can't you?
Oh, of course. Oh, okay. Brett, you can bet on everything in the Olympics. I mean,
And you can bet on tennis in Uzbekistan on a
absolutely.
Tuesday in June.
You're exactly right. You can bet on table tennis in Uzbekistan on a Tuesday.
And a lot of funny stuff going on in the tennis.
Absolutely. That's why you try to stay away from it if you can. But no, you're absolutely right. You can bet on everything. I'm pretty sure judo is something. I think I saw that the other night.
We got to get something down on the judo.
We got to get something. Let's see. Yeah, right now a Canadian is the.
Is it money line or?
It's just to win it, to win the whole thing. Because
we got to wager something.
we got
on
to
the
find
judo.
something. I don't know much about these.
Let me do it when I'm there in person, though.
That's
Again,
right.
I don't want any federal.
No, nothing crazy. But we got to get something on the judo. But we'll definitely ask Alan if he's got anything Olympics related to put some cash on, as obviously a big day with the opening ceremonies. 3:45, we'll talk the NFL as more and more news coming out from training camps across the country. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net will join us. We'll talk more wagering with him, but also some college football, as we've got a whole lot of media days going on right now. We might also talk some Olympics with him as well. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, a whole lot to do in that segment. We'll try to predict the 2028 Olympic basketball roster, the men's basketball roster. 12 guys, and we'll see maybe who we think. And a coach, that is absolutely right, who we think will be there in 2028. We'll also go through the sports in the 2024 Olympics, figure out which ones we've done, which ones we've not done, maybe which ones we haven't done but would want to do. And then we'll also get to our college football playoff, our early college football playoff brackets and results. If I had to guess, some of that will probably go into what's trending. A really good chance, I think. But
remember, we did way too early on January 17th.
Okay.
We did too early on May 31st. And today is just simply early on 7/26.
I love that. So we'll get to that. It might be at the end of 5 o'clock. It might be at the start of 5:30 when we talk about what's trending. Then at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Crunch Time, and then we'll get to the weekend. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer is here, and it's time to party, and Family Leisure has you covered with great deals like the 24-foot above-ground pool for $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and robotic cleaners, 20% off. Select in-stock patio furniture up to 50% off. Play gyms up to $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas 20% off, and 4-person hot tubs only $29.99.99. And don't forget about the discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while supplies last. So head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
10:20 p.m. in Paris, 3:20 p.m. in Memphis, Tennessee. We're Sports Time. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. We're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to be a part of our show. Text or talk at 901-360-8255. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by today or this weekend at the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's opening ceremony day in Paris, and I haven't seen all of it. Like I said, I'm going to watch a bunch of it later tonight when they replay it. How about this on NBC today? 12:30 is when it started, goes all the way to 5:30, till 5. Then they're going to do news and that sort of stuff. And then at 6:30, we're right back to the replay of the opening ceremony from 6:30 to 10:30.
Got to treat your affiliates good.
You absolutely have to. So I'm definitely going to be watching a ton of it later tonight. But I've had it on in the background when it started earlier today, and now I've got it back up. And it's really cool to watch it. I like the way Paris did it with everybody coming in on the boats. Just something different, really fun to see. It's always cool to watch these countries as they come in. So much pride. These athletes have worked 4 hard years to try to get to this moment, and then to be there and with the opening ceremonies representing their countries. It's really cool to see that pride and excitement. I loved what Peyton Manning said earlier today during the broadcast. Part of what I did catch earlier today, he was kind of acknowledging how excited everybody was and how it's so cool to see just the utter straight excitement on all of these athletes. He said, but I'm sure later tonight, once this is over, once they get back to their rooms or whatever, I'm sure it's going to be really emotional for them, and you're probably going to see a lot of tears shed because like I just said, these athletes have worked so hard to get to this moment, and now they're there. And I'm sure right after the opening ceremonies, it all kind of sets in of, man, I'm here representing my country. And so it's really cool to see. And so we'll get this done. I think we're getting close maybe to lighting the lighting it off and getting it officially started.
Getting close.
We're getting close. So then it'll officially be ready to go, and maybe less controversy after the torch is lit than what we've had in the past couple of days with some of the chaos on the soccer pitch. Maybe things are a little friendly after the opening ceremony.
Real quick, hard one.
Okay.
We know football's not an Olympic sport.
Right.
What Olympic sport do you think Peyton Manning could have excelled at if he had dedicated his career to it?
Oh, geez, that is a great question. I'm gonna go, wild card here. A sport that Team USA does not have, but if they had it, I think he would excel at it. Handball, because that arm, he's got that cannon. I mean, set him up, you throw it to him, and he just throws it back there.
All right, I'm thinking about something with that arm.
Okay.
Put that javelin in his arm.
Oh, that's a great one. I didn't even think about javelin. Oh, yeah, let him launch that javelin. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
And we know it would not have been basketball.
No, it would not have been
Maybe golf if he had dedicated to it.
Sure,
My
I can see
top
golf.
story, light the flame and release the dove. Paris looked spectacular, and let's hope safe after a pack of losers shut down about 1 million people trying to get into town with what they did to the rail line. I've said it before, I think the most talented sports broadcaster out there is Mike Tirico. He could read the Ripley, Tennessee phone book and make it interesting, and he would have it down.
That's right.
Better than anyone. You hit that Olympic theme music, you see the cauldron lit, it makes you pay attention.
Oh, no, it absolutely does, and it's a lot of fun to watch it.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, something else that we have discussed already. Trades are starting to come in Major League Baseball, and they're going to continue to roll in all the way till the trade deadline. Still a ton of big names out there. I don't think Randy Arozarena was a big name that I think a lot of people talked about, but outside of that, none of the big names have been traded yet, so we'll see a whole lot more. I mentioned Arozarena to the Mariners, gives them another bat, but a guy that has struggled this year, only batting .211. He does have 15 home runs on the season. We'll see how he can adapt to Seattle, to that ballpark, and maybe with a little change of scenery, maybe he can get back to what he was doing. James Paxton gets traded to the Red Sox from the Dodgers. That was an interesting one. Austin Hayes goes to the Phillies from the Orioles. So definitely some interesting trades already in there, but we know all of the big names that are that's still available. White Sox have a laundry list of guys that other teams want and that other teams will go after. There are some other teams that it's really questionable. What do they do at the trade deadline? I've mentioned so many times Trick Skubal with Detroit. What do they do with him? Does he stay around and they say, I think I saw it last night, about 3 or 4 more years under team control they have him? Do they say, look, we've got one of the best pitchers in the game, we got to keep him and try to get something? Maybe it's not this year, maybe it's next year that we get into the playoffs, maybe it's the year after that we start making a push. That's what I'd like to see them to do. But Brett, I feel like the Tigers are in kind of that same gross situation that the Athletics are in, where they need a lot, but they've gotten into this kind of ever-evolving cycle of we get a good player, we trade him for prospects. One of those prospects gets to be a good player, we trade him for different prospects. And you're never going to be able to contend doing that. And so there's a lot of really good storylines to keep an eye on, but it's about to really heat up on the trade deadline.
Same thing for not top story baseball trades. It started last night with Seattle and Tampa Bay dealing. I can promise you Tampa Bay will fleece them because they fleece about everybody. They know when to fold them. They don't fall in love with anybody, and if you get up there at a certain financial level, they have to let you go because it is a low-budget franchise, low-budget market, and their scouting and development department, it has no peer. Everyone in the sport should model after them, and whatever they give Kevin Cash, he always wins with it.
Oh, yeah. No, that organization, the farm system, Kevin Cash, I mean, from top to bottom, they know what they're doing. And whether it's just getting a little bit out of you to be effective or a whole lot, they're going to get something.
Everything's great with them except for the check writing department.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we haven't been able to figure that part out.
Bank account, not so good.
No, not at all. But certainly on field, they are an impressive bunch. But I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, we're talking a whole lot of wagering with Alan Bell.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month, with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. 5 Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 5 Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me go from one Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. No business owner compensated for the participation. Cards issued by JP Morgan Chase Bank and MMRFS, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby. At Jason's Deli, locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Upper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Red Stat Sports Ruby and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And joining us now to talk some wagering, Alan Bell at AB3 and Driving the Line. He joins us every single Friday to talk some wagering. Alan, I know we want to get to some games this weekend, but I got to ask you about Major League Baseball trade deadline. We're already seeing a couple of trades start to come in, some big names, Randy Arozarena going up to Seattle in return for a couple of prospects. What have you made of the few deals we've seen last night and into today?
So first off, appreciate you guys having me back. And look, this is gonna be one of the better trade deadlines that we've seen in a long time. And the question is gonna become who's gonna spend, who's gonna sell, and who's gonna stay put. And I understand that that's the most cliche thing ever. That's how it is every year. But this year, I think that it absolutely matters. You take a team like the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Good, solid team is playing over their heads, and I say that in a positive way, right? Do you go after something big? Do you just stay put, stay economically safe? I don't think that they're sellers anymore that we thought that they might be. And then the Los Angeles Dodgers, man, like not only do they need a pitcher, they need 2 pitchers. Do they go for it? So I kind of pose the question back to you, like, where do you see these teams, like who do you think is going to be buying here in the next couple of days?
It feels like almost everybody in the National League is scared to do anything because it's so tightly compacted. And, Alan, you could even have this with somebody like the Cardinals or like the Mets or like the Braves. You go out and get swept this weekend and you have a little distance between you and that last wild card, let's just sit still on Wednesday night or Thursday night.
100%, you're right, and you take a look like – so, okay, you take a look like the Cardinals, right? Like, They're playing good Cardinal baseball in terms of what their organization is looking like. They're getting better, right? Like that's what you want to see. The Atlanta Braves have obviously taken a huge step back, but it's been a lot of injuries too. But what do you do when you have a guy like Matt Olson, right? I'm not saying that they're going to move him; they're not. But I'm just saying that you've got some big name guys, that it's like as soon as Acuna went out, whoo, buddy, this thing went downhill in a hurry. So I don't know if you go out and buy, if you just say, look, this year is what it is. We'll see where we go, but let's not make the big mistake, if that makes sense.
Al, I think it's the toughest organizational meetings you have to have is when you get in that meeting and everybody has to have truth serum and we got to know exactly where we stand. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me the truth. Is it a go for it year? And if it's not, there's no need in maybe blowing things up or making a deal that will burn you in 3 or 4 years. And for the Braves, I think they have to look around the room and just realize, okay, we had that Murphy Law year. Everybody got hurt. It's not our year. We'll get them next February, or we'll get them in off season.
Yep, 100% agree with you because, it's one thing to say, all right, let's not go spend the money, but then the other big piece is let's not give away our future either, right? Like
the Grizzlies did it this year in the NBA with all the injuries. It was no need any deadline deals. That wasn't saving this year.
No, it wasn't. And you're still going to need a whole heck of a lot if you try to do it, right? I'm with you on that. Like, it's not always what, everybody wants to hear, especially fans of the team, but it's kind of like when you just save a little bit of money in your paycheck. It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but you know what? In about a year, 2 years, 3 years, or if a rainy day comes, you're kind of glad that you did.
Mm-hmm. And it's what I said to Bryant the other day, at looking through it as the prism of a Cardinal fan, and often not very realistic. Every Cardinal fan's like me. They want to give up Pedro Pajes and a AAA player and maybe a draft pick for Aaron Judge.
That's right.
Well, the Yankees aren't doing that.
No, and it's also going to cost you $700 million, down the road. Like
nobody thinks about the money, Alan. It's all just about the players. Who cares
and
about
it's not
contracts?
my money.
Exactly.
Exactly, right. Now, so that brings us to the original question, is that the Los Angeles Dodgers, they don't care about money, right? Like, they're going to go out and make some moves. I'm just fascinated to see what they do and if it pays out. But, their TV deals and all that stuff, it's almost like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of wild to say that. That's what makes baseball so
Must
wild.
be nice.
You don't have that. Yeah, you just don't have that salary cap. Like, everybody's operating with, different bank accounts.
Yeah. Alan, I think one of the bigger names that has been in deadline talks has been Trick Skubal for the Detroit Tigers. Has been unbelievable this season. And, when you go and listen to people, read things about it, it feels like a lot of people are split on what the Tigers will do. Some people think they might keep him, and maybe this isn't the year Detroit makes the playoffs, but maybe you try to wait till next year and try to make that push into the playoffs. I think he has about 3 or 4 more years under team control. Other people think Tigers are going to go out, they see the value and what they can get back in a trade involving Skubal, and that they'll go out and trade him for a ton of high-name prospects. What do you think Detroit does with Skubal?
Yeah, so, this is a good place to be, right? Like, when you have a key asset and you have a team like the Dodgers who could very much use his services, right? I think that, with Brett, what you said, man, is understanding, the room and everybody being honest about it and saying, okay, all right, where are we at? And what is the value that we have on this player? And what is the number to where we say, if somebody reaches this, you're going, right? Like, it's worth it to us. And there's no better team that you want bidding on things with the Dodgers. What you have to do now is that you have to find other teams that want to bid and force that price up. So this is where, when you have guys that can leak information out there to the media, that's where their value comes in, because you get a bidding war of two people, two teams against each other. That's like the NBA. You start getting Amazon and TNT going and Disney going against each other. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a win-win either way, man.
Yeah, that's one that Adam Silver just sits back and goes, "Fight away, boys." I'll take either side of that. Alan Bell, our guest from at AB3 and Driving the Line. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. He's with us every Friday, and I texted you and I told Bryant this and the audience this yesterday. After last night, starting next week, 24 straight Thursdays of football. Break down the Hall of Fame game for us next Thursday night, since we won't talk to you again until its completion. I know you got a lot, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah, so we got what? We got Texans Bears, right? That's who we got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, we do. So, all right, so we've got a total of 33 in that game. Now, let me tell you this. What you have to get and understand, and this is not only a Hall of Fame game, but this is also for every preseason game. Don't worry about the starting quarterbacks in the regular season, okay? Those guys are not going to play much, even rookies. Understand the backup quarterbacks that are in this game, and I'll tell you, Houston has excellent quarterback room. Take the Houston Texans here. They will take this game somewhat seriously because this team is potential to be good, and backups, there are starting spots to be had, and a young coach, yeah, take the Texans here. Nothing against the Bears, and take that over 33 because defense tends to fall way apart in the second half of these games.
I love that. I'm going to be betting both of those next Thursday night. I can't wait
There you
now.
go.
I got something to look forward to. Do you like anything in Major League Baseball tonight?
So, okay, all right. So we're the point now of the regular season where weather matters a lot because humidity is a serious factor in runs being scored. All right. And if anybody doesn't know, the higher percentage of humidity that you have, all right, the further the ball is going to travel. All right. So the West Coast has very hot, very humid weather right now and wind blowing out. Take the Rockies and the Giants over 8.5. Take the A's and the Angels over 8.5. Wind is blowing out in these stadiums. Humidity and temperatures are up because all the rain, and I'm sure you guys know, is in the southeast and going up the east coast there. But the West Coast is basically having our summers right now, and the ball. Look at the runs being scored. The ball is flying in these ballparks. Take the overs in both of those games.
This has been a run production week. Yesterday, the Rays got 13. Early in the week, the Rockies got 20. At the Summer Olympics in Paris, I would assume, correct me, please do, if I'm wrong, I would assume basketball would get the most action at the legal betting places, whether it's Vegas or the online places. Is that assumption correct? And if it's not, what would be the sport? And if it is correct, what would be the second most bet sport at the Summer Olympics?
Yeah, so basketball is definitely going to get the most just because obviously, it's the most, popular with the NBA players that are there. The second is going to be swimming, all right? You've got Katie Ledecky that's going to be out there, American, going for records. I don't know about gymnastics with, Simone Biles, but
you can bet on swimming?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Big time,
Brett,
man.
I'm telling you can bet on everything in the Olympics.
You definitely can, man. But I'll tell you this. So, yeah, you're right. Basketball's going to be number one. Swimming will be number two. But we always have a storyline that pops out of, a team or a person in, a random sport, bocce ball, or something that we never pay attention to.
Walking.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, right? That it just, becomes popular, and then everybody starts going. But no, you're right, man. The money's going to be on basketball. And I'll tell you this. It's a public betting, so it's going to be overs and Team USA. So if you're betting Team USA, as soon as the line comes out, bet it because no matter what, it's going to go up. The totals are going to go up. Bet them. If you're running that way, bet as soon as you can. If you want to fade the over, wait until right before tip because the public will bet that thing like crazy up and you get an even better number.
Last thing for Alan Bell, and this is a serious question. Alan, which one would you suggest of the two to stay away from, the sports that have a scoreboard or the sports that are judged?
Ooh, that's a great question right there. Sports that are judged always scare me. And
sure do. Especially with that IOC. They always got their hand out.
Oh, it's like boxing over there, man. You don't know what's going to be happening. I 100% agree with you. It's like dealing with FIFA. You know what I mean? I don't trust any of them. I can trust the scoreboard.
It'd be hard to explain. I lost the entire retirement because a judge in breakdancing got to me.
That's right.
That's one of the funniest things.
Why are you still working, Brett? Well, risk it all on breakdancing at 2024 Paris. And the Lithuanian judge got me.
Yeah, it's probably one I won't be betting on. It's breakdancing.
They let me down.
No promises on that. Well, Alan, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy these Olympic events, and we'll do it again next Friday.
Man, look forward to it, boys.
Thank you, Alan.
Have a good one. Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
Alan Bell joining us every single Friday. And, Brett, just because you brought it up, Victor Montalvo from USA. He is the favorite to win the Olympic breaking for the B-boys division.
It has to be judged, doesn't it?
It's got to be. Yeah, that's
Can't be a scoreboard.
No, it's definitely.
All right,
judged.
Brian, and I know we're close to break. I'm going over. But if you can have breakdancing that is judged, why can you not have wrestling? That it be judged?
Well, they do have wrestling. They do not have wrestling.
I know, but that's pinning a man to the ground.
Yeah, that's true. I'm honestly, Brett, I think we need to start that. We need to start pushing for that. 2028 in Los Angeles, we have someone pull out a chain, and we've got wrestling.
A coal miner's glove.
I love it.
When they fight to the top of that pole and get it and then just whoop the hell out of everybody.
I would love that because you're right. I mean, just judge it on the show.
And in Los Angeles by the Coliseum at one time, the LA Sports or the LA Arena, I think that was the name of it, maybe Sports Arena, sat right there by the Coliseum, and it was a focal point of the wrestling.
I love it. I say we start it now. We start pushing for it in 2028. We have wrestling in the Olympics. Don't know how that's going to go over, but we can at least try it. We need to get to a break. When we come back, a lot of news in the National Football League as training camps are off and rolling. We'll talk about the latest headlines next on Sports Time.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving. Smoke is our sauce.
What is the Central Barbecue slogan? What are we playing?
Well, I just think that we don't emphasize often enough that even though Central Barbecue offers a variety of sauces at all of their many locations, Central Barbecue's barbecue doesn't even really need the sauce.
We should mention that more often. Central Barbecue doesn't take any shortcuts. The barbecue at Central Barbecue is slow-smoked Memphis style for 24 hours to make it so flavorful you really don't need sauce.
That was my point. Well, boy, do they have great sauces.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'm going to go sauce-free at Central Barbecue. I'm just saying I could.
Again, exactly my point. Look at my copy. It's the first thing I said. You just hijacked the commercial.
See how it feels?
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Cork and Barrel in Hernando, Mississippi, a Southern gem for over 15 years. Check out their bigger, better, bolder new location, 2595 McInvale Road, Hernando. Huge selection, incredible pricing. Choose from hundreds of bourbons, tequilas, rum, scotch, and vodka. Over 1,000 wines from fine and very simple picnic wines. At Cork and Barrel, it's all about serving you. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 10, where the fun begins and the liquor and wine never end. Cork and Barrel, 2595 McInvale Road, I-55 Hernando, exit 280.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to assign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 to assign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months. Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to assigning. All 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R 73,161,97, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R 60, 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Supremos. Here are your hosts, Brett Stack, Sportsworthy, and Brian Gates.
Welcome back into Sports Time. As we got a couple minutes before we wrap up our first hour, we got to talk about the NFLs. There's a lot of news going on right now, but maybe the biggest news, another quarterback gets a contract. Tua Tagovailoa, he has been waiting for a new deal, and today him and the Dolphins agreed to a 4-year, $212.4 million extension with $167 million of that guaranteed. It's the third highest AAV in the NFL behind Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, and obviously it is the largest contract in Dolphins franchise history. Brett, what do you make of Tua Tagovailoa joining all those other quarterbacks that we've talked about this offseason getting new deals?
As I say every time, it's the market.
That's
you can
right.
talk, doesn't deserve it, does deserve it, not going to win it all, should win it all, whatever the expectations are for Tua. He's the quarterback of the team that they think can get them deep in the playoffs, and I think he can too. I'm really bullish on the Dolphins this year. We'll get to picks in a few weeks, but I'm going to have them around at the end.
Wow.
For sure, but he's got to do it. He's got to stay upright. He did stay upright last year. I still think he's one concussion away from being sidelined for a career.
Certainly.
Last year, he made it through the whole year without that, and I hope he can continue that. And the next quarterback can get it. All the people that get so upset at contract time and almost want to take offense that this one's not getting paid or they're dragging their feet. They always get these deals wrapped up because they're how many quarterbacks do you think are really A quarterbacks in the top tier in the league?
Not a ton.
10?
Yeah, maybe. If that.
That's about a third of the league.
Sure, yeah.
Well, the GMs and the front offices know that too. You're not going to go out in college and in 2 or 3 years be able to find that.
No, not at all. And I mean, I think, like you said, Brett, you mentioned it that we're going to get to it in a couple weeks, but you have the Dolphins going deep this year, and they showed those flashes last year, and especially when
have to get home field advantage.
That's right. Oh, they've got to. But when Tua was out there, when he was healthy, he looked good. He made the throws. He made the plays. He has those weapons. And so, yeah, I definitely think deserving of this because, like you said, who else are you going to go get? But also, I do think at the same time, you are a little worried about those injuries, especially the concussions, because, like you said, we're getting awfully close to. The next one could be one that
he's got about one.
Yeah, that it's you're done. And so you definitely
and last year he was from the pocket a lot more.
Yeah, and so I think they're doing things. We heard the stories last year of he was taking karate classes to learn how to fall. So like I think as silly as it might sound, the Dolphins are doing everything they possibly can to make sure he stays healthy and doing things to protect him. And definitely, like you said, keeping him in the pocket will definitely help that a little bit.
I think the front office, the management, the Dolphins brass, they have to be thinking at least one. We've got to win one Super Bowl over the life of this contract with this guy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I think you look at that roster, you look at the commitment they're making to him to Tua. They got to feel like they're close, and they definitely showed flashes of it last year. And
I love their young coach.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they've got it. They've got those speedy receivers. Defense has been good. You got to feel like they're definitely close to being being in that conversation of a team, one of the last teams standing.
But Miami, they just can't go into Buffalo at playoff time. We know how that's going to. Our Kansas City.
Sure.
We saw that last year on that record, extraordinarily cold game. That the last weekend of the year, the last Sunday of the year, the Dolphins go to the Jets. They better have it wrapped up.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right because that is that one's going to be cold, and like you said, we've seen it. We've seen that plenty of times. So you're right. You got to get home field advantage. But I do think if they can get home field advantage, they're scary. That's not a team I would want to mess with.
Ooh, last 2 weeks here at Cleveland.
Ooh.
And at the Jets for Miami.
Ooh.
They'll have to win one of those or both of those to have a preferred seed.
No, you're definitely right about that. So, no, that was definitely the big news today out of the NFL. Tua getting
and only one bye now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the playoff setup.
That's a good point.
But home field,
that would definitely
insulates
help. That would definitely help. Did you see any of the Raiders and their the Kermit the Frog puppet they had at practice yesterday?
I didn't.
They had a Kermit the Frog puppet because there's a thing that has gone around ever since Patrick Mahomes has gotten into the league of he sounds a lot like Kermit the Frog, and his voice kind of sounds like this, and so they say he kind of sounds like Kermit. So they had a Kermit the Frog like little hand puppet, and they dressed it up like Patrick Mahomes. And so on the sidelines and stuff like that during training camp yesterday, they were making jokes about Patrick Mahomes and how he sounds like
the
Kermit.
Raiders are picking at Patrick Mahomes?
The Raiders are picking at Patrick Mahomes. And
the Raiders that hadn't won Jack in how long?
A very long time, Brett.
Okay.
A very, very long
odd
time.
flex.
Very odd. And Patrick Mahomes was asked about it today. And
did he flash rings?
He just kind of said, it's going to play out how it plays out, and I think we know how it's going to play out. I'm not worried about it. So, let them have their fun right now because it's real early.
Real quick, are you ready for tomorrow for the Around the NFL on the NFL Network on ESPN?
Oh man,
back together.
Oh,
again.
it's a beautiful
really
time.
Sounds nice, doesn't
it definitely does.
Sound like you could take like a box lunch and go
That's
out
right.
there and spread out a blanket. We're all
That's
back
right.
together
Yes.
again.
And
after beating the hell out of each other.
That's right. Everyone friendly with each other. All the networks friendly with each other, and all the players friendly with each other.
A sport that requires a face mask and a mouthpiece.
Right.
All back
Come together.
again.
Yes, that's right. It sounds like a Beatles song or something. But no, that'll be fun getting all those look-ins from different camps all weekend long. But we need to go ahead and wrap up this hour and get to a break. And when we come back, talk some more wagering with Bruce Marshall. We'll also talk some college football and some Major League Baseball with him. So stick with us. Bruce Marshall, he joins us next on Sports Time.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com. Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Fox Sports Radio has teamed up with Tire Rack this summer to give away a set of 4 tires every 2 weeks through August 25th. 3 lucky winners will each receive a set of 4 tires from Tire Rack, plus vehicle installation, taxes, and fees valued up to $1,500. To get all the info and official rules, visit foxsportsradio.com. Make sure to enter daily for your chance to win. Furnished by Tire Rack. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby. At Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Parkway Center, Poplar Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Building. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Give yourself a little bit of extra time on here, finishing up that terrible wreck we had earlier, 40 West out there at Chambers Chapel. That's had traffic really slow coming in from Fayette County into Shelby on 40 going westbound at Chambers Chapel this afternoon. Eastbound, well, that's been slow because of just pure rubbernecking out through there, just about through with that wreck on 240 South just before Union in Midtown. Havenly Showers, your curbless shower specialist. Transform your bathroom with a tub to curbless shower conversion. Check out havenlyshowers.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, BamSports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with Captain in Sports Talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Brian and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joins us from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BamSports.net. Talk some wagering and a little bit of everything else. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. It's probably been a weird week for you, if I had to guess. I know we talk a lot about those West Coast football teams, and this week you saw a couple of them introduced at ACC Media Days, a couple of them introduced at Big Ten Media Days. What has been your takeaways from both ACC and Big Ten Media Days?
Well, Brian, I had a similar discussion with the guys down in Baton Rouge this morning. And what I told them was this week was sort of like, this was like the closure, I think. And maybe the final act is when the games start in September or August 31. And people on the West Coast see either the Big Ten or ACC logos painted on the field. But for a whole generation of fans and for a whole region of the country, seeing USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington in the Big Ten, and also Stanford and Cal at ACC Media Days, that sort of almost now completely closes the book on the Pac-12, and it's still sort of hard for a lot of people on the coast to digest, but it all of a sudden now it becomes real. more so at the ones this week than the Big 12 a couple of weeks ago because, the Arizona schools, they came in the late 70s in the league. Those two in Utah and Colorado, they really aren't, none of them are really traditional Pac-10, Pac-12 schools, Pac-8. None of them were there in the conferences of Pac-8. So I don't think that jarred as much as seeing all these, schools on the coast suddenly at media days elsewhere in the country. I think it's a pretty, it almost like closes the book now for fans on the coast about the whole Pac-12 thing.
Bruce, there will be people in the USC Sports Information Department digging for record cold kickoff games. And this year, UCLA and USC at USC, they go to Maryland middle of October. That shouldn't be that bad, but they go to Minnesota. It's early October. Shouldn't be that bad for UCLA. At Nebraska in early November, that could approach a record cold for them at kickoff.
It could. I mean, usually now in the past, I mean, you can get up into Salt Lake City and Boulder once you get to November, and Pullman. And even I've been up in Seattle for games, been kind of cold. So, but later in the season, they can get kind of bad. But you're right, the Midwest sort of cold that you can get for some of those games, or in the East Coast, which you can get in November sometimes. That'll be a change. I mean, you can still get mild days that time of year too, but I think once that first chill hits and the UCLA's back, back at Nebraska, if it happens to be cold, I think that'll be another slap in the face. Like, okay, this is the reality now. It's deal. You're not playing games in Tucson and Tempe anymore. Now you're going to Lincoln and you're going to Iowa City. A lot different.
And I said regular season because we know UCLA is never topping a cold like they did in 1976 at the Liberty Bowl against Alabama on the 2 or 3 coldest nights of my life.
Yeah, 36-6, and they don't want to repeat that, and they're crossing their fingers. They don't. I will say this though, the schedules aren't that horrible for SC and UCLA or even Oregon and Washington. It's just a few trips to the out of the time zones. If you look back in the 60s, I mean, UCLA annually had games with Pitt, Penn State, Syracuse. They threw Tennessee in there a couple of years, Missouri. So they were playing across the country way back then as well, but it's been a long time since they've had a schedule like this. Ditto for USC.
And USC would, they played Alabama, they played Arkansas. They would come this way occasionally.
Yeah, they have, and they never quite had a schedule the way UCLA did in the 60s when the Bruins would go back. I mean, they had one road trip. They went at Syracuse, at Notre Dame, at Illinois in 64, which was brutal. That's back-to-back-to-back weeks. So SC would occasionally have those trips, the Arkansas trips in 72 and 74. SC did have a trip to Boston College a few years ago where they lost, and they also played Syracuse at the Meadowlands. But it's going to be different for them, too. So a lot of adjustment going on. It's just, and the perception, I think, for the fans out on the coast and to get used to this new order of things. I mean, it's not like it used to be. You're not playing, like I said.
And they're not walking on these road trips.
No, they're not. I mean, it's long ago.
They're not riding stagecoach.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. So they're going to, they'll fly there comfortably if they can. But for the fans, there's a lot of fans who used to like to travel along the coast. Very true. And for the USC, UCLA fans going up to the Bay Area, or Oregon and Washington fans coming down to the Bay Area, or one or the other, I mean, that's different. If you got to go back to the Midwest, it's you're not going to see those traveling contingents like you saw in the years of the Pac-12.
Fandom is the last thing thought of in all this, and it's so sad.
I know, and all these Friday night games now too. The Big Ten's going to probably have one of those every week, it looks like. I don't think the Ohio States and Michigans are going to be playing on Fridays, and that's generally an unpopular thing with everybody except, the TV audience doesn't seem to care. I mean, but if you're an Indiana fan or a Purdue fan or a Maryland fan, I mean, they're people too. And Friday night games, especially on the road, even at home, just not that convenient. Saturdays are a lot better for fans who want to go to the games. TV's a different deal, but the Big Ten has sold the TV like everybody has. So some of these schools got to get used to playing these Friday games too.
Yeah. Bruce, talking about USC, what do you expect from them this year? Because last year defense was a big issue. That was kind of the storyline for that team all season. You've got to replace quarterback. I think you feel confident Lincoln Riley can get good quarterback play out of anybody. But what do you expect in a much more physical conference like the Big Ten? How do you see USC faring this year?
Look at the schedule they've got. And you alluded to it a second ago, Bryant, but it's pretty brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And starting off with the LSU game, now that's in Las Vegas. It's not back in Baton Rouge, but still, I mean, this is a big jump here for USC to have to play a schedule like this. LSU, then the Utah State. They're at Michigan. Their third game. Wisconsin comes into the Coliseum. After that, they got to go to Minnesota. Then Penn State comes in at Maryland, which I'm not sure they'd be favored in that game. And they still got Washington on the schedule, Nebraska, Notre Dame. It's a brutal schedule. Paul Feinbaum has had some debates on ESPN this week, including one with Chris Russo. Feinbaum had to mention something because he said he thought Riley is in some trouble, and Russo said that's crazy. But I think Feinbaum is more correct there. It's not just that USC. Yeah, it's not just that USC has lost lately. It's the way they've lost. Of their last 14 games, so this includes the last two in the 2022 season when Caleb won the Heisman. But that was when the defense really collapsed. And then last year, they were lucky to finish above 500. That team could have easily been 5-7 after they were ranked in the top 5 first month of the season. Defense collapsed. Now they stole Danton Lynn, the defensive coordinator from UCLA. So they're hoping that is going to make a difference. And Miller Moss, the quarterback, had really one game against Louisville in the bowl game when SC was just faster across the Louisville was not really that good last year. The big thing you got to remember at USC is when you lose to UCLA and Notre Dame, big, the way SC did last year, that spells trouble with the booster base, which is not that patient. And you can just go back in history. When you lose to UCLA and Notre Dame when you're at SC, you're asking for trouble. Don Clark in 59, SC was on probation that year. But they were sitting 8-0, ranked in the top 5 in the country into late November. They lost back-to-back to UCLA and Notre Dame, and that's when they were still playing the games at South Bend versus SC at the end of the season. They didn't move to mid-October until 63, I think. That's forced Don Clark out. He resigned under pressure. Ted Tollner didn't seem to be in trouble in 86. They were sitting 7-2 into the UCLA game. I was there at the Rose Bowl. And they got laid out flat by UCLA, down 31-0 at halftime. The final straw was the next week. They blew that big lead to Notre Dame in Tim Brown's punt return. And Tollner was fired before the bowl game. They allowed him to stay on before they played Auburn in the Citrus, but he was fired because of that. John Robinson's second time around. You lose Notre Dame and UCLA, you're in trouble. If Riley does that again this year, and he ends up like 6-6, I don't put anything past USC. They are like the Auburn of the West Coast, and the way they're only 7-7 their last 14 games, but it's the way they've lost is just sticking in the craw of so many SC people. They need a turnaround, and I think Riley could be in trouble.
I agree, and I have USC 6-6, and I think he would get with his agent and try to have a peaceful settlement where he could say, I need to get back to the Midwest and reboot. You mentioned Auburn, and they do like to change coaches. Could Hugh Freeze play into trouble this year?
Yeah, anything could happen at Auburn.
That's a fact.
He could have bought himself another year, Brett, had he won that Alabama game. And I was just looking at that touchdown again last night. Just kind of came across it as just fiddling around on the internet, and I still can't believe it. Yeah, I mean that Milroe to Bond TD pass. I mean Freeze wins that game, he buys himself at least another year. So, and then you're talking 26 or 27 before he feels some real pressure. But it depends. I mean, if you remember, this is a place that fired Gene Chizik 2 years after he won a national title. And we know they got rid of Brian Harsin before his second year was up. Freeze has a little rope, but he could probably survive a 6-6 or so this year. He couldn't survive a third one of those in a row. And I know they did get to a bowl last year. but not just any bowl. Eventually, he's going to have to do a little bit better. And I think he's probably one more year away from being in real trouble unless it all falls apart this year. Who knows? Somebody's got to lose games in the SEC. Could be Auburn. We'll see.
Somebody's got to come in 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th.
That's crazy.
That's right. That's what you used to say, Brett. You told me that years ago at an SEC Media Day. Someone's got to lose in this league, and it can't always be Vanderbilt. It needs to be somebody else. So whoever pulls that short straw. It could be Shane Beamer this year, too. I think he could be in some trouble, and we talked about Sam Pittman last week with Bryant. So keep an eye on all those, and Auburn. Throw Freeze maybe in there, too.
Yeah.
Bruce, and we've made every weekend win or die.
Yeah, and I don't know that that's how healthy that is. It's just the way it is.
Well, I know it's not healthy, especially on the Sundays that I'm dying.
I know it's too much. I mean, if you're an Auburn fan, or you're a South Carolina fan, a Vanderbilt fan, you might as well just die right now. But I mean, it is. That's just the way the game is here now. You just look at a lot of these schedules. I mean, I'll throw another one out there for you. If Brent Venables falls on his face this year at Oklahoma, he's got some trouble too. Now they did recover some last year, but again, they got the freshman quarterback from last year who played in the bowl game. He's the guy now because Gabriel has left, and Venables, he did beat Texas last year, but a little disappointing at the end. He could be in some trouble too, so keep an eye on that situation as well.
Yeah. Bruce Marshall, he joins us every single Friday, talks some wagering from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Switching gears, some Major League Baseball trade deadline right around the corner. We've already seen some trades roll in last night and earlier today. What teams are you kind of keeping an eye on around the trade deadline?
Well, a lot of them here. The ones that really need to make some moves. I still think that the Yankees might want to do something here. It's been a very bad few weeks for them. The Dodgers could still, I think they'd like to reinforce the pitching staff a little bit, even though Kershaw came back the other night, and they'll get Glasnow back here too. But they've had injury problems all year. You wonder if the Orioles might want to add a little bit to their rotation too. They've had a lot of pitching problems this year, and they're playing about 500 ball the last month. So any of these top teams, I think, we've seen one sort of significant move with Rosarena going from Tampa Bay to Seattle, which has really tanked here in the last month. The offense has stalled completely. Well, Rosarena is not having a big year, too, so I don't know that this is a real subtraction for Tampa Bay, the way Rosarena has played this year. I don't know that Tampa Bay is going to want to sell anymore. They're not completely out of the AL wildcard stuff yet either. But I'd still... It's just a couple of sellers. What you want to watch next, though, not as much who's buying, but who's selling. Are the White Sox going to move these pitchers? Are they going to move Crochet? Are they going to move Fetty? Those are going to be two interesting moves here, and I think they probably will. They're just sorting through offers right now, and you could see a lot of landing spots for either of those two.
Is this real with the Mets, or is it just a lucky 2 weeks?
Well, actually, they started to turn it around earlier June. And then I think it was actually that second London game where they came from behind and beat the Phillies. And they may have actually started to play a little bit better before then. But this has gone on for a while for the Mets. They've beaten they beat the Yankees all four. So I think it's more than just a flash in the pan, because this is about 7 weeks now they've played pretty well. The way things are this year in baseball, that could turn around quickly, but they've been getting. They look like they would have been a potential seller back in early June, and now they might be looking to add a few pieces too. They've gotten better pitching than they were getting earlier. The bats have come alive. So and with the way the Braves have been faltering here, the Mets. I'm not writing them off at all.
Yeah. Is there anything you like tonight in Major League Baseball?
We mentioned the Mariners a second ago. Kirby goes tonight. Here's how bad it's been going for Seattle. He's had 4 starts in July, 2.59 ERA. That ain't too bad. Seattle has not won any of those games he started. That shows you what's going on with their bats. They just got held to 1 run each of 3 straight losses to the Angels. They go to Chicago tonight to play the White Sox. Talk about fortuitous scheduling, I think. 11 straight losses for the White Sox. They are now exceeding the loss pace of the 1962 Mets. But Thorpe has pitched pretty well for Chicago lately. He's pitched very well. They just can't score. Neither of these teams can score. Rosarena is not going to make that difference if he even gets to Chicago on time tonight. Under, you can find 7.5s out there. Neither of these teams can score. The pitching looks decent tonight, so I'd go under there. Dodgers-Houston. Dodger fans still mad about 2017. Houston, though, has played much better here since early May. It bolted to the lead in the AL West. Framber Valdez, here's a guy. He has won. Houston has won his last 5 starts. He's pitched pretty well. Gavin Stone, Dodger rookie, somewhat impressive, but when he gets a tough assignment on the road like he did the Phillies a couple weeks ago, he got bombed. I like Houston tonight, maybe even on the run line there. One more, Texas, playing better. They did just get the White Sox, so a little tougher tonight in Toronto, but I'm not sure how much tougher. Toronto has really cooled off. They may be a seller coming up at the deadline, too. Kikuchi's ERA is over 6 since late May. Andrew Heaney has pitched pretty well lately for Texas. They're a slight underdog tonight. I don't get that price, so I would take Texas up there north of the border.
Bruce, Brent and I are both watching the Olympics, about to light the cauldron and really get it started. In your life, and you went to the 84 Olympics, I think, right?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles. Whether on TV or in person, what is the one Summer Olympic moment indelibly etched in your mind?
Actually, probably 72. Although there was a couple bad days there with the terrorist attack. But I'm not going to say the U.S.-USSR basketball game. I'm going to say Dave Waddle winning the 800 meters that year.
Who was later here at Rhodes College in the registrar's office.
There you go. Yeah,
used to be a tradition unlike any other. Dave Woloshin and I would always have Dave Waddle on around Olympic time.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah, he had that little cap that he wore. And
Sure
that was
did.
a stretch drive. It was like a thoroughbred race, so he came out on the stretch.
Bryant, you got to YouTube it. It is something to watch.
And he was actually considered a better 1,500-meter runner than 800-meter, but that was a dramatic stretch drive. So that one moment was there. There was another one in 76 that I remember. This is one of the great Olympic achievements of all time. Lassi Viren from Finland went back-to-back in 2 Olympics, the 5 and 10,000 meter.
Wow.
The second one in 76, which was right before the last weekend, was the 5,000 meter. Another one of those stretch drives that was just everybody. Dick Quacks and Ron Clark, they were all like right on the line. So that was it. There is one other one. You have to go back and watch. And I barely remember this one. Remember it more by seeing video on it on YouTube. Billy Mills, 1964, winning his race in Tokyo. Look at that stretch drive and listen to the call, which was NBC that year, doing it. That might be the other moment, along with Waddle, that I remember the most.
That's great stuff, Bruce. And you know, I don't remember it because I was just too small in 68. But Bob Beamon almost leaving the planet in the long jump in Mexico City was spectacular. But you mentioned 72 and watching on TV. And maybe, you know, with Cronkite announcing President Kennedy's assassination and breaking news for Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy in 68 and the moon landings and all the other events of the 20th century. But one of the biggest TV moments is when Jim McKay said, they're all gone.
Yeah, and that was really awful. And
whole world watching.
Yeah, and that sort of changed the innocence of the Olympics because that was a very, up to that point, they said Munich was the happiest Olympics ever. The Olympic Village was a joyful place, but there wasn't much security there. And that sort of, contributed to the tragedy that we saw there with the terrorists. So the world, and we can talk about moments the world changed. I swear, I think that was a moment that the world really changed, and any innocence we had left. After the 60s, I don't think we had much left, but it was completely gone after 72 in Munich.
Yeah. Well, it's been fun to watch. Like I said, like Brett said, we've had it on in the background, and Feels like we're getting there towards the end of this opening ceremony and going to have then everything really kick off. But Bruce, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, thanks. Check me out online. Check out this new website I got, winnersandwhiners.com, WHINERS.com. Picks up there every day. I got 3 of them up there today. I've also got picks every day. VegasInsider.com. Of course, my stuff is CBS Sportsline too. Sportsline.com. Got some college football previews up there too. Next week, I guess NFL preseason starts. We've got a Hall of Fame game next week, so that's coming in August too for NFL preseason.
Well, Bruce, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Friday.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce, and good luck to you this weekend. And great stuff. Talking with Bruce Marshall, just the history book that he is, and it was so fun to be with him last week. Brian, Rob and I used to do this for a couple of years. I don't know if we did it the Friday. Used to SEC. Yeah, it ended on Thursday like it did this year. I don't know if we did it on Friday or Monday. But we do the 3 or 4 most impressive people we thought we were around at SEC Media Days. And Bruce would always be on both our lists.
That's awesome.
Of course, only Rob Fisher, he would have his. He would have, like, Bruce Marshall one. He had Bruce Marshall, Phil Savage. He had himself.
Well,
he was kidding. He's
deservingly on it, though.
But it's just, last week, just so great to catch up with him and visit with him. And next week, I'm going to ask him, with a little time to digest, if he has any different thoughts from when he left to now. And I'm sure having mine about Tennessee. Sure. I think a lot more Tennessee than I did when I left for Dallas than that. But Tennessee got me last year, but I'm not going to let that burn me 2 years in a row. Yeah. If I think they're going to be good, I'm going to say that. And
absolutely.
If I'm right, well, I'm right. If I'm not, they burned me 2 years in a row.
That's right.
Let's drive together to the beach, to the lake, to the mountains, to anywhere you want to go. And let's start at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, first exit into Mississippi on Highway 78. That's Kraft Goodman Road. Hundreds of new and pre-owned Silverados at All-Star Chevrolet. Some mark 12% off invoice. Add up the All-Star special discounts and look for Costco member deals at All-Star Chevrolet. One sweet buyer's market right now with financing as low as 1.9%. No payments for 90 days on a bunch of new All-Star Chevys. And nothing beats road trips like that in a new Tahoe. Get an extra $500 bonus back instantly if you're a first responder, healthcare worker, educator, college grad, military. No matter what pre-owned you're looking for, they have it at All-Star. 4Runners, Jeeps, a Navigator, an Expedition, all the trucks, all in Olive Branch where you can drive every one of them at All-Star Chevrolet. Bring any vehicle you want to sell and you get a big check today or sometime this weekend. Don't miss All-Star Chevy special summer sale going on right now in Olive Branch. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, a lot of trades in Major League Baseball. We've actually had 2 more trades since the show started that we've not been able to talk about yet. So we'll talk a lot of trades, talk about this weekend's slate in Major League Baseball. We'll do all of that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When we say that Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar, is cool, we're not just talking about the temperature. Now, it is very cool in Bell Tavern this time of year, but it's also just straight up cool. The atmosphere is cool, the employees are cool, and the customers are cool. Bell Tavern isn't for people that feel compelled to act out whether their team is winning or losing. It's for people that act like grown-ups, cool grown-ups. That means if you go to Bell Tavern, you're cool. Lots of people go to big chain sports bars, but you could be one of the people that goes to Bell Tavern. That's cool.
Rock and Ronnie Smith, it's the big the summary that it gossip. Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out on the pipe. Yo, Rock and Ronnie, what you got going on?
I've got 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive, $26,095 for $388 a month.
That's a rockin' Jeep deal. What else you got, Ronnie?
Power up in a 2023 Dodge Charger FXT, $26,795 or $398 a month.
And Ronnie, I know you're in the big Vista summary that you gotta have an incredible Ram deal.
2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drive, $697 a month.
Rockin' Ronnie is rocking some deals today, so drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossip Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram out on the Piker. Shop online at gossipmotorcars.net.
Renegade Triple P 57 256 MSRP 31
$34.95. Charger PH 636 170, MSRP 37215. Ram RN 203232, MSRP 588. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
If the woman of your dreams has been searching online for the perfect engagement ring, she's figured out there's a few brand names that are worthy of consideration. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and she doesn't want a plain, ordinary cookie-cutter ring to wear the rest of her life. She wants a world-class designer ring, handcrafted by a true artisan that will hold value and stand the test of time. She's found Tacori, Verragio, Ajafi, Simon G., among other premium American-made designers. But when you try and find these exclusive rings, you quickly realize most stores don't offer them. They have knockoffs and lookalikes, kind of like those imitation bags and watches on the streets of New York City. But there is one jeweler where you can find the real deal, Genesis Diamonds. Genesis has been chosen by all the most sought-after designers. Genesis is your exclusive home for these iconic brand names that define excellence. Other stores can only dream of being able to offer these, but only Genesis has them. So be careful. Don't settle for anything less than the ring she is worthy of wearing. Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Make your next grill your last with the Big Green Egg in East Memphis Ace. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Ready to cook in only 15 minutes with good temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between. Change your at-home cooking experience for life with our unmatched on-egg wood-fired grill flavor that has our customers raving. Get more Big Green Egg and all our accessories at East Memphis Ace on the corner of Southlight Station and Post Road.
Listen up, I got Marty McNate on the line at Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown. Hey, McNate, how far back you moving on prices?
Way back, Randy. Doc told me you can take your pick. 2024 Teos SE or 2024 Jetta Sport. Gotta go back in time to the good old days at $275 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. Gossett Volkswagen on Germantown is really moving prices back.
That's right, Randy.
And I hear you got the 2024 Atlas Peak Editions going for $5,000 off MSRP, or you can get 1.9 for 60 months.
That's right, Randy. Your future's whatever you make of it, so let's get to Gossett Volkswagen, Germantown.
Ask for Marty to find out how much he can move you back on price. Hey, Marty, hit us with that Gossett Volkswagen locator.
7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's been a mess for a couple of hours now out here as you come in from Fayette County into Shelby County on 40 westbound at Chambers Chapel on a very serious crash. It happened, again, about 2 hours ago. Eastbound's been running a little bit slow out there, mostly rubbernecking delays. Again, now it's been slow there for a while. 40 east and westbound at Chambers Chapel. Again, hopefully they're going to get this straightened up sooner than later. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Go by and see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We got to talk some Major League Baseball as the trades are really starting to roll in. I mentioned it. 2 trades that we hadn't been able to get to yet. One of them, it feels like all of the details are out. The other one, I have not seen full details out yet. The first one, Zach Eflin, starting pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. He has been traded to the Baltimore Orioles. We talked earlier about Baltimore Orioles already active today, but needed pitching. Now they go out and get Zach Eflin, a guy that's got a right over a 4 ERA right now, so definitely can help that starting rotation. In return, the Rays get 3 prospects from Baltimore. And then the Seattle Mariners continue to remain active as they go out and get Yimi Garcia from Toronto. A guy out of the bullpen's been really good this year with a 2.70 ERA in 29 appearances this year. So Mariners adding some pitching to that bullpen, something they definitely could use. But those are the 2 latest trades, and it feels like, Alan said it about an hour ago, it feels like this is going to be a pretty active trade deadline.
I meant to ask both Bruce and Alan and didn't get to it, this question, because over the weekend, how they have to maybe watch out for players that sit down when they know they're being traded. You know, they don't want to get them hurt before the deal's official. You know, you could go out there thinking you're having this lineup in, and you don't, because they hold back some firepower, maybe for some lesser teams like the White Sox.
Sure, yeah, I mean, and I think the White Sox is a really good example because, you know, you think about those guys, and what you don't want to risk is, you know, Luis Robert in center field diving for a ball or trying to gun someone out at home, and, you know, he throws out his arm or you know, slides and you know,
takes one in on the hands batting.
Exactly. You know, there's just so much that can go wrong, and I think any White Sox fan that might be listening right now might argue that Luis Robert has mailed it in for the last 2 months and has not been doing anything that could potentially get himself hurt, at least in the field. At bat, really can't avoid it if you get one in on the hands. But I've seen several videos this year of him kind of just lobbing balls in when he can maybe make a play. But no, definitely something to keep an eye on because, you know, guys that have value like that, you know, something like that gets them injured, all that value's gone for this trade deadline. And if you're a team like the White Sox, you cannot risk losing that.
Here's what Tampa got back, and I'm not familiar with these names, but it highlights my point that I've made all year about they got them lined up wingtip to wingtip in the Orioles system down to Norfolk into Double-A. They get Eflin, but they have to give up. Mac Horvath, a right-hander. He's number 13 prospect according to Baseball America in the Baltimore system. They have to give up infielder, Mac Horvath, right-hander Jackson Baumeister, and he's the number 18 prospect in Baltimore system, 22 years old. Guarantee you Tampa Bay's been scouting them and think they're better than that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
They outfox everybody.
Yeah, and so
they have to stay viable.
Definitely. And so you get a couple young guys, you know, both are very low in Baltimore system, probably why, you know, they don't sound like names because, you know, up at AAA, AA, they've got a bunch of studs up there.
Tampa thinks more of them than Baltimore does.
Oh, 100%. And that's kind of the situation that Baltimore's in right now. They've just got so many really good prospects that a lot of them, especially, you know, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, stuff like that, can kind of get lost in the shuffle, you know, especially when you're at, you know, high A, double A, that sort of thing. So, yeah, I guarantee you the Rays saw value in those guys and said, we got to get them, and bringing them in. And, you know, who knows, in a couple of years, I would not be surprised at all if we're going, oh, man, look at this Mac Horvath guy. I mean, he's really tearing it up for the Rays. I mean, I could 100% see that.
I would hate to think it's kind of this volatile, but a Cardinal sweep this weekend, do you think that – I think that would make them maybe a little more likely to deal and get swept. That seals it. Just sit still.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, I think they're in a spot right now where you know, it's kind of, okay, we're in that mix for wild card. Is this a go for a year? Is it not? What do we do? You go out against Washington and you have a lot of success. That could definitely give you some confidence going in, you know, and then the pressure of trade deadline right there into Monday, that could definitely, you know, kind of get you going, well, okay, you know, let's go ahead and add a batter. Let's go ahead and add another arm. And, you know, so I definitely think you can maybe see that, especially like you said, if they go out and have a very successful weekend against Washington.
There for a second, I thought we'd get to trade deadline on Wednesday before we got the cauldron lit.
Yeah, it took them a long time. If I know anything from Paris after watching this, very theatrical, very artistic, and they definitely showed it over these last 4 hours of the opening ceremony.
And it was fascinating.
Oh, it was great.
It took a while.
It did take a while. It was great. I started to kind of lose interest as we just kept adding person after person to this, just marathon of people trying to get to the cauldron. But ultimately, it got there, and definitely cool to see.
Richard Deitch, a well-known wise guy on the Twitter machine, he tweeted, "The refs have added 43,000 minutes of stoppage time to the opening ceremony."
It definitely felt like that, 100%. It felt like it was never going to end. And now I think it's over, but I'm not positive.
We might have baseball as an Olympic sport by the time they got it lit.
Yes, by the time they got it lit. But no, it was a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm going to try to watch it in full later this evening when they re-show it on NBC. I believe 6:30 is when they're re-showing it.
If you DVR'd it, you had to go way over.
Oh, definitely. What I say earlier, 12:30 start, and I believe it just ended, but the actual recording for it is going till 5 because it says opening ceremony doesn't end till 5. So yeah, I hope you got a lot of hours stockpiled up on your DVR because that could get definitely a little hefty. What are some things you're paying attention to this weekend in Major League Baseball? We mentioned
the great series.
Oh, they're just everywhere.
When Yankees, Red Sox, and Braves, Mets aren't the best series.
Oh yeah. And how about who would have had before the season started that on July 26th, Guardians and Phillies would be the two best teams in baseball playing a series against each other. I mean, it really is incredible just to see those two teams and how well they've played all year long. Because I think we've talked about both these teams of especially more the Guardians than the Phillies of can they keep this up? They're playing so well, they're so hot. Can they keep it going? And they continue to impress. So that's going to be a fun series to watch. Another thing, and Alan mentioned this as well, weather at a lot of these places. I'm already seeing a couple of these games that are starting at about 5:40 or so could be in question a little bit because of weather. It looks like we've got some rain in the area in Philadelphia, and it also looks like we could have a storm rolling through in Detroit. So it sounds like weather might be a factor all weekend long.
Cardinals need May and June sunny gray, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. You definitely need that, and you need them tonight. I mean, we talked about the Nationals yesterday when we were talking about that no-hitter from Dylan Cease for the Padres. I think the Nationals are better this year, and especially going back to the last time the Cardinals saw the Nationals, it was a couple of really terrifying games. So I think they're better, but especially when you're in the Cardinals' position where you're in that running for a wild card spot, you're in a good spot right now. You've got to take advantage against teams like the Nationals, and so that definitely starts with a Sonny Gray performance tonight.
You got to feast on the lessers, but right now in the National League, there aren't many lessers.
No,
there are a lot of equals.
You're absolutely right, and so when you find yourself in a series like this. You really got to take advantage of it. And so I think a good pitching matchup tonight. You got Sonny Gray, and like you mentioned, it's kind of been two Sonny Grays this year, and you would rather see one than the other. And then on the other side, Mackenzie Gore, who I still think's a good young pitcher in Major League Baseball. And you look at his record, 6-8, isn't great, but you look at his ERA is a little bit better, and I've been impressed with what he does. So this should be a fun game. Cardinals a big favorite tonight, but that's going to be an interesting series to watch. And on the other side, not even thinking about the Cardinals, I'm interested to see how Washington bounces back after being no hit yesterday.
3 against Washington, 3 against Texas, 6-game homestand for the Cardinals, and that'll wrap up July for them. Then they start August on the north side against the Cubs in a 4-game stand. And I messed this up a few weeks ago, and I know I'm right about it this time. After this weekend, only 3 more weekend series at Busch Stadium this year.
That's crazy, Brett. I mean,
goes fast.
That is incredible.
And this is the last one really for a lot of people in our area before school starts. Guarantee you there's a lot of Shelby County tags headed up 55 today.
Well, I'll be honest, Brett. Last night I was talking to my mom, and my mom is a teacher. She works at Germantown Elementary, and I was talking to her, and she's been up at the at school all week this week, and I was like, yeah, so you're back fully now, like summer's over for you, and she was like, yep, and I was like, well, when do kids go back? Because I know it's got to be sometime fairly soon. She was like, not this coming up week, but the week after, and I was like, whoa, it's that soon?
August 5th.
It blew my mind that summer just went by like that. It's incredible.
And just in a few weeks, we'll be at Southwind at the golf tournament.
Yep, it will be there, and then right after that, we'll have college football. I mean, it's crazy how fast time is moving this year.
3 weeks from today, we'll be wrapping up that Friday afternoon coverage from TPC Southwind.
Holy cow. That is hard to wrap my head around.
And then balls on the tee then.
Then it's all hands on deck because we'll definitely be all in on
kind of mixed metaphors. Balls on the tee at the golf tournament. I meant footballs on the tee.
That's right.
Right after that.
Tomato.
A lot of footballs, a lot of tees.
A lot of everything, especially when you're that close to college football season and at the golf tournament. It gets a little wild. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it will be time for Big Number of the Day.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the big green egg and accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51, 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
Hi, it's the Herd. Whether you shower in the morning or at night, chances are you want to hop in right away instead of standing and waiting while your water heats up. My friends at Navien have your solution. Go tankless with a new Navien tankless water heater. You'll instantly get all the hot water you need as long as you need it. Right now, save hundreds on Navien tankless water heaters with local rebates. It's easy. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It's the season for fun, sun, and savings at the Volkswagen Savvy Summer Sales Event. Going on now at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, and I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, on the phone to give you the lowdown.
Randy, I've got the 2024 Taos SE, $299 a month, 36 miles per gallon on the highway. 2024 Atlas Peak Editions, $5,000 off or just 0.9% APR for 60 months. And the new 2024 Tiguan's, $3,000 off or just 1.9% APR for 60 months. And the list of savings goes on and on at Gossett Volkswagen on Covenant Pike. And remember, no reasonable offer will be refused.
Summer fun has begun. Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettDWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Brett, my big number today comes again from Major League Baseball. I've kind of hit a stride. I have two big numbers, both of them Major League Baseball numbers, and surprisingly, both of them have to do with the Seattle Mariners. I did not try for this to happen. It just happened on its own. I saw both of these. I was like, I got to bring both of them to the table. All right. My first big number is, how do I put this? We'll just call it 690. That is our that's going to be.
That may be a first. We've never had 690.
Yeah, when it's not 690, it's .690. So,
I got you.
Yeah, a little interesting.
I know we haven't had that.
No, we definitely have not. But that is the career slugging percentage in the postseason for Randy Arozarena, .690. That is third.
Kind of Mr. October.
He's really turned into it, and this big number will highlight that because he is third in MLB history with a minimum of 100 plate appearances. He is third in highest career slugging percentage in the postseason, behind Lou Gehrig, who had a .731 slugging percentage, and Babe Ruth, who had a .744 slugging percentage. So
he's ahead of Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
He literally is, yes.
The best Twitter handle out there at Mr. October.
100%. But Randy Arozarena, has not been a good season for him this year, but Seattle definitely hoping he can give them a little bit of something. And then once postseason play starts, he turns into what he has been over these last couple of postseasons. The other big number I have today, also a Mariners big number, it is going to be the number 77. George Kirby, who goes tonight for the Mariners, has given up a combined 100 home runs and walks, 46 home runs and 54 walks through 77 career MLB starts. That is 12 less than any of the other 1,588 pitchers to debut in the modern era since 1901 through 77 career starts.
Maybe we need to modernize the grading for modern era.
I agree. 1901 does not feel very modern to me.
Can we at least ratchet it up to the Great Depression in the 30s?
Yes, let's a little more modern. It doesn't have to be all the way to like 2000 or anything. But
Now,
just a
NFL
little
very
modern.
much calls modern era Super Bowl era.
Yes.
What would be the modern era of the NBA?
Oh, geez.
Magic Bird's debut?
Probably. That seems like a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could agree with that, yeah.
Yeah, probably so. My big number is 6. No, it's not for Stan Musial, but it's for the 6th season at North Carolina for Mac Brown. Few had him returning to coaching. Even fewer had him there 6 years, and nobody has him there this time next year for a 7th year. We'll see about that. He was once wide receivers coach here for the University of Memphis for Richard Williamson in 1978 as a young coach. 282, 149, and 1 in his coaching career.
Wow.
14 and 12 in bowl games, national champ with Texas in 2005. He was 10 and 5 at bowls at Texas. Turned 74 on the eve of the season in late August.
Holy cow.
And who had him there 6 years?
Nobody. I know I didn't. And I don't know many other people who
second
did.
tour of duty at North Carolina. Those usually don't go well.
Nope.
His has gone pretty well.
Oh, yeah. I would definitely say his is a success. Where they're at as a program, I think, is in a really good spot. I mean, it's certainly not at the top, but it's definitely not where it could be.
His first tour there, he went 1-10 and 1-10 first and second year.
Whoa.
Nobody makes it to a third year now doing that.
Oh, not at all. Oh, my gosh. Today, if you go, I mean, honestly, there are some places, if you go 1-10 1 year, there's going to be conversation about not bringing you back a second year.
Well, 1-10 the first year, and you're off to 1-6 the second year. You don't get to 10.
You're not making it to 10. That's exactly right. So that's a really good nugget there. But no, we're getting really close to the college football season, and now obviously a lot of talk today about the official word coming down about the increase in scholarships across college athletics and what that will mean for college football, especially as it makes a big jump up. And so,
and for baseball,
baseball's I mean, that's crazy.
It's the big winner.
Oh, it really is. I mean, the jump that baseball is taking from
and full rides,
which is massive. Because the old, I mean, ridiculous 11.7 is just utterly crazy. But 34 as the new limit that's an entire team. I mean, that's
bigger than all-star teams.
You're absolutely right. So that's definitely you love to see that. Obviously, basketball going from 13 to 15, and then football from 85 to 105.
But the budget pressure is going to put on so many.
Oh, yeah. No, it 100% is.
About 20 can really do all that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so it's gonna make it so weird in college athletics
maybe
now.
40.
Maybe. But it's so much new coming to college athletics. And we're starting to see a lot of it with conference realignment kind of starting to really take shape with all these teams officially joining their new conferences. But yeah, it's going to continue to evolve and continue to look a little weird. But we need to get to a break and wrap up our second hour. When we come back, I am super excited for what we're doing next. So 2024 Olympics are here. The opening ceremony is in the book, so it is officially started. But we're going to try to predict. We're going to put our, we're going to look into our crystal balls and try to predict the 2028 Olympic men's basketball roster. We'll also go through all the sports at the 2024 Olympics. Talk about the ones we've done, maybe the ones we haven't done, but want to do, and then we'll get to some college football, get to our college football playoff bracket and results. So a whole lot to do in the next segment to start our 5 o'clock hour. I'd be surprised if we get it all in. We might have to let that carry over into 5:30 during What's Training. But let's get to a break so we can have a lot of time on the other side. Stick with us. You're listening to Sports Time.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
All 650 acquisition fee, 20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE 794,066, MSRP 21,820, Telluride RG 543,666, MSRP 39,835, EV9 R602, 29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
I got Jeff Allen on the line, Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, dude, you ready to rock our world?
You better believe it, Randy. How about 41 MPG Highway in a 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $37.99 due at signing. 2024 Kia Telluride S, $379 per month, $39.99 due at signing. And 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month in a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite, or get 0% for 48 months, $49.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
Or online, KiaMountMoriah.com.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Chris Price here for Brian Elder Roofing. For nearly 2 decades, we've installed some of the best roof systems across the
Mid-South. To the tens of thousands of clients we've served, we are honored. So many of you call our team at Brian Elder Roofing your roofers. Our team is dedicated to serving you and keeping your family safe, dry, and mold-free. The recent hailstorms have caused massive damage, and many of these will go unnoticed for years, even though the golf ball-sized hail we just experienced in the Mid-South compromises even the best-built roof system. Whether we find damage or not, your photos are securely stored for future reference. Call Brian Elder Roofing today for a total evaluation of your entire roof system free. We will not try to sell you a roof if all you need is a repair. Call me at 901-867-0303. That's 901-867-0303. Or visit us online at brianelderroofing.com.
Are you ready to ride? Well, we got it covered at Gossett Kia on the bike. Get 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $37.99 to assign it. 2024 Kia Sportage, $279 a month, $34.99 to assign it. Or how about a 2024 Kia EV9 Lite with 0% APR available for 48 months? Or get 304 EPA estimated range for $389 a month, $49.99 to assigning. All 24-month lease. Plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online. KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
$650 acquisition fee, $20,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE794-066, MSRP 21,820. Sportage R73-161.97, MSRP 28,865. EV9 R60-29,603, MSRP 61,035. Includes all rebates and incentives and PF 695. Includes tax, title, license, registration, and fees. Must finance through Hyundai with approved credit valid through 7/31/24. Dealer stock only.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea flavors.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
All right, Brett, the opening ceremony is in the books. Paris 2024 has officially kicked off.
Spectacular.
It really was cool. I've mentioned a couple times. I'm really excited to go back and watch it in its entirety where I can listen to Tirico and Peyton Manning and kind of hear all of that, see all the countries. Should be a lot of fun. But we want to have some fun right now in anticipation for the Olympic Games. Let's start off with, obviously, a lot of talk about this 2024 basketball roster and how good it can be, what it will do this year in the Olympics. But nobody talking about 2028 when it's here in the States. So let's go ahead and predict our 2028 Olympic roster.
Who's your coach?
My coach, I'm sticking with the guy that's the head coach right now, Steve Kerr. Obviously, if something crazy happens, like they don't medal, then I think there might be a change. But
I don't know that he's with the Warriors in 28. That's a bold pick.
He might not be. But I think, I feel confident Steve Kerr's still the guy in 28. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not, but I'm going to stick with Steve Kerr and say he's still the guy.
He's on the bench now as an assistant, and I think he'll be with the Heat then. I'm going to go with Eric Spoelstra.
That's a good one. That was going to be my next one. When I kind of
the next
short
guy.
list, yeah, I think that's a
vice
really
president.
good one. Yeah, that's
coach in waiting.
Yes, I think that is a really,
this is
really
the
good one.
I'm not kidding you. Preparing for the fun, this was a hard show to get ready for.
Yes.
With this segment and with another bracket for the playoffs.
That's right.
And this segment right here, this is the fool's errand of Sports Talk Radio.
Of course.
Because nobody's going to remember any hits.
No, not at all.
And, it's going to be, you had
That's right.
fill in the blank on the Olympic team.
That's right. Yep.
We can look really foolish here.
Yep.
Here we go. Fire away.
All right, I'll just start. In no order. I just went through. Actually, what I did was I pulled up the current roster. I went through of guys I think are going to remain in 2028.
How many of those?
I have 6.
I have 3.
Are going to carry over. So I heard you say that earlier. So we have a big difference there. So I'll just start at the top and work my way down. Bam Adebayo, I think he returns in 2028. Kind of gives them that stretch 4 big man. That's not really a 5, but plays more like a 5. I think you can put him at the 4. Devin Booker, I think, returns. That one was kind of up in the air with me, but I think when you talk about shooting and what he brings to the table, I think he'll be there. My first newcomer on here, Jaylen Brown. A lot of people wanted him to be on the roster this year. Still a young guy. I think he'll be on this roster in 2028 with some of the guys leaving. Number 4 for me, maybe one that is definitely up in the air, just like the coach, and it's his coach. I have Steph Curry still around, maybe
at 40.
I think, you mentioned it earlier this week about LeBron James maybe as kind of that ceremonial player. Maybe he doesn't play a ton, but is on the team and gets playing time.
And
I think
his
Steph
California
could be that guy.
ties, that could be your cauldron lighter.
It definitely could be. So I'm going to say Steph Curry is still on this team. Anthony Edwards, I think, is probably the slam dunk that's on this team right now to be back in 2028. I think by then he will be a megastar in the NBA.
And by then will be what, 25?
Yeah, I mean, he's still going to be super young.
Yeah.
Then I've got Tyrese Halliburton. I think he returns, gives you another shooter, and kind of a guy that can carry the ball. And then Jason Tatum, I think, is back as well. So that wraps up all my guys that are on this team that I think will be back in 2028. The new additions outside of the one I already mentioned in Jaylen Brown, I think Tyrese Maxey is on the 2028 team. A young, really good guard for the 76ers right now. I think he's on the 2028 team. Chet Holmgren, I think big man. Obviously, the talk of the anticipation for the 28 Olympics will be Victor Wembanyama, and so you want a guy that's versatile and big and can match up with him.
We don't have many big bigs.
We don't. So I go with Chet there. I think that gives you another center. And that's kind of the last center I have on our roster, so it's kind of a smaller roster. Paulo Banchero, which a lot of question marks beside his name because a guy with dual citizenship, he can play for USA, he can play for Italy. There was a lot of controversy when he picked.
He played FIBA U19.
He did, and he played for FIBA last year when they were in the Philippines. He was on the U.S. roster, and that caused a lot of stir because the Italian president was not happy.
From Seattle.
That's right. So I think he's with Team USA. I like what he's done.
Is Karl Anthony Towns kind of in that same limbo with the DR? Because I know he played.
Yeah.
And FIBA doesn't really like that.
No, they do not. But yeah, Karl Anthony Towns is big time with the Dominican Republic. But I have Paulo in there. I think he'll be up there. I think he'll choose America, and I think he'll be on this team. 11, I said it earlier this week that he was going to be on there. I have no doubt in my mind that he will be on this team. Cooper Flagg, I think he should be on this team this year in 2024. I think they should have used him as the replacement for Kawhi Leonard. And even if Kevin Durant had backed out before we had gotten to Paris, I was calling for them to add the young kid that hadn't even stepped foot on Duke's court. And then my last spot, this one I went back and forth on a lot of guys. I'm going to give it to Brandon Ingram. I think, a lot of people say a lot of different things about Brandon Ingram. Think he's a really good player. Maybe question his defense. But I think
some size.
Definitely needs some size. He can, play the 4 and, gives you shooting, gives you a physical guy that can take it to the bucket. So yeah, I got Brandon Ingram as a newcomer, and that's my 12.
Except for Steph, I don't think you have crazy reaches.
Thank you. I tried to put my GM cap on and get to work.
And he could be that, not ceremonial player, but at the opening ceremonies, lighting the cauldron
yes.
after that great career in Golden State. And I think that would be very fitting if he had both roles. Great list. I only have 2 that are on this year. Here's the 2 back in 2028 that are on this year's team, Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker, just like you did.
Yeah.
I kind of went guards, wings, forwards, centers.
Okay, I like
more guard, handling the ball types, Anthony Edwards, Devin Booker, Jalen Brunson.
Oh, I like that one.
Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
And number 12 for your Memphis
like
Grizzlies,
that.
Ja Morant.
I like that. I wanted to put Ja on my list. I just ran out of space, and then I looked up and I said, I got to have bigs. I got to have, wing guys that are, bigger than Ja Morant, and I couldn't find a spot for him.
And the game now, NBA, internationally, it really is a guard wing game. There's not many aircraft carriers, which I think makes Zach Edey more valuable. My forward types, Brandon Miller, Paulo Banchero, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, and Cooper Flagg.
I like those a lot. Those are some really good names.
Quintessential bigs, Donovan Clingan.
Okay.
And from the University of Memphis, Jalen Duren.
Oh, that would be awesome. And would definitely be in the running for him, a guy I completely forgot about when making this list, but he would definitely be in the conversation.
And I think by that time, it's either going to be superstardom or a lot of different teams and just playing a long time and having a nice career for him.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but I would love to see that, and that would be awesome here locally to have a guy that went to Memphis and played for the Tigers and now representing Team USA. That would be really cool.
Ja was not homerism, I promise. It's part of the great comeback.
Yeah. Oh, I believe you. And like I said, I wanted to find a spot on it because I think he is definitely a good enough player, a talented enough player, and by 2028 will be a player that will be in that mix for the Olympic team. So I don't think that's far off at all.
Give me my biggest reach. Was it Brunson?
Brunson probably, if I had to throw anything out there. Because I know what it is. Clingan for me, but I'm just not sold on Clingan as a player. So that's just me being a hater on Clingan. If he gets to the NBA and kind of is what people think he's going to be, then he'll definitely be in the mix for the Olympics.
He'll lead the league in blocks and be defensive player of the year in a few years.
Yeah, no, and if he's that, then he's definitely on the Olympic roster in 2028. So.
All right. We'll see in 2028.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely have to keep these saved and come back to it in 2028 and see how wrong we were. Because
2028,
doubt will be right. I can say that.
Hope I'm here.
Well, I hope you are too. Let's get to these events at the Olympics. And
let's go fast.
We've
done.
We've got to go fast with these. Okay, we're going to start with athletics. So a lot under the umbrella of athletics. Track. You ever run track before?
No.
I've run track before. I was on the team for like 2 weeks. Did not ever participate in an event, but I was running during practice, so I'll count that. Why not?
Okay.
Hurdles.
No.
Never done hurdles. I don't trust myself around hurdles, Brett.
No.
Not at all.
Knew a great female athlete that could just play anything, and they had the hurdle set up, and she just didn't know, and she ran down the track the opposite way and clipped every one of them perfectly without knocking them over. And they're not made to go that direction.
Right, yeah.
And she just didn't know, and she was
Holy
that good of an
cow.
athlete.
That's incredible.
And I couldn't attempt it the right way or the wrong way.
No, not at all. Steeplechase.
No, but I love it.
Brett, I'll be honest, I didn't know much about it until recently.
One of my favorite sports.
I've definitely
never
done it, never participated in it. Didn't even know it was a thing. Relay racing.
No.
Never run a relay before?
Not even close.
Never done a relay before. A marathon. You ever been in a marathon?
Lord, no.
5K or something like that?
No, 0K.
I don't know if I've ever been in a 5K before or any type of marathon.
I've never gone jogging in my life.
Oh, how about that? So, yeah, definitely no marathons for you. Walking.
In fact, walked this morning.
How about that?
2.7 miles. Yeah.
There you go. Yes. So I have also walked before. I think everybody can check that one off as.
So far, I've got one. It's walking.
I have two.
Which is always a good sign every day when you can walk.
A lot of events, Brett. A lot of events. High jump.
Oh no, Lord, no.
Not done any high jumping. Pole jump.
Vaulting. No.
Long jump.
No.
Triple
Not even
jump.
Close. No.
Shot put.
Would once count?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely once counts.
And the shot was only put at about a foot?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, we'll count it.
We'll count it.
Have you?
I have not. Not at all. Discus.
No.
I have not either. Hammer.
No.
Not either. Javelin. I also don't trust
could
myself.
get very
yes,
dangerous.
I don't trust myself.
Here comes hammer. No.
Yeah, no. And then the decathlon.
Oh, no.
No, I have not participated in the decathlon.
So far, we're both 2 yeses.
That's correct.
And 13 no's.
How about that? Okay, the next one, I just grouped it all together. We have 3-on-3 basketball and then regular basketball.
Both, yes.
Yes, I will put yes for both of those. Archery.
Yes, got a merit badge in it.
Wow, how about that?
Almost decapitated a guy way off to the side.
Well,
okay, I didn't have my angle just right. And the instructor said, let's try hitting the bullseye.
Yeah. I've never shot a bow and arrows. I've never done archery before. So that would be a no from me. Gymnastics.
No.
I've never done gymnastics either. Badminton.
Oh, heck yeah. And every badminton match would end up in a big brawl.
I love that. That's great. I've played badminton before.
Badminton, great sport.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So I would, both of us, yes, on badminton. So that's good stuff. Beach volleyball.
Well, not on a beach, but volleyball, like on a basketball court.
I think that's later. No, so this is just on a beach.
On a beach.
No on a beach. I've also not played volleyball on a beach. BMX.
I don't know what it is.
It's like when you're, it's the guys that race on bicycles and they go over the hills and kind of jump and stuff like that. Yeah, I've
like
never
X
done.
Games stuff.
Correct. Yes, BMX is in the Olympics. Boxing.
Yes.
Okay, I'll write down a yes. I've kind of touched people
had on
up
boxing
before.
gloves.
I've had boxing gloves on.
Just got pummeled every time I did it.
I'll put like a maybe yes on that one. Breakdancing.
Not being sober count?
Sure, Brett. Why not? Throw a yes down.
Yes, I'm going to call it a yes.
Because I'm going to throw a yes down because I was...
I'm going to call it a yes.
I was convinced into doing a breakdancing class once. So I'll put a yes down for myself.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. Canoe and kayaking.
Yes.
Okay. I've never been in either. So I will have to put a no for both of those. Rock climbing.
No.
I've also never
that could go
rock
horribly
climbed.
wrong.
Cycling.
Well, riding a bicycle?
Exactly. Just riding a bicycle. I've done that, so we'll put that. Diving.
Cannonball?
Did someone score
actually
it?
got to really have some form.
I think you got to have some form.
No form, no.
Okay, no, because I don't know how to dive, but I know how to jump into a pool. So I'll say there's a difference.
I was always kind of top heavy when I'd try, and it ended up being a big belly or back buster.
Yeah, I've just never tried. I get nervous attempting to dive. The horses. The equestrian. That's right. Yes.
I've been on a horse, but I never had jumped over a fence.
No, I've never been on a horse. I'm actually. I wouldn't say I'm terrified of horses, but horses make me nervous. I'll be honest.
Horse bit me one time, and I was kind of, little kid, and was getting ready to get on and walked by, and he kind of took a little out of my shoulder. I was a little scared of him too.
Wow, that's incredible. So no from me. Fencing.
I've been horseback riding, but never jumped.
Yeah, we'll put a maybe
better say
there.
no.
Yeah, we'll put a maybe there. Fencing.
That's with the swords?
Yeah, on God. That type of thing.
Does it count like with putters? On the golf course?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, no, I'm going to go no.
I think I have to draw the line there.
Are you a no?
I am also a no.
But we got very few yeses.
I'd like to try it, though. Like, I'd fence. I would definitely fence.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, why not?
That's got to be judged. Is that judged, or they have computer scoring?
They have computer scoring. And once you touch it,
like
registers.
Like shooting.
Correct, yes. Yeah. So both no's on that. Field hockey.
No hockey of any type.
No hockey either. Soccer.
No, never.
I've played soccer before. Not
very good.
Not at a competitive level, but I've been out with friends and we've gotten a soccer game.
Right now, I'm leading by 1.
Wow, how about that? Golf.
Yes.
Yes, also with me.
But we were really proud.
Oh, very, very proud of that. Handball.
No.
I'm a yes on handball. I've done handball before.
Tried racquetball once, and it was the guy in the forecourt and got cracked in the dome by the guy behind me.
Yikes!
This is why I was never an athlete. To me, bad things happen.
That's not fun. Judo.
Oh no, but it looks fun.
I've not done judo either.
I'm a no.
Swimming.
Hell yeah, I can swim.
Yeah, I was actually on a swim team in middle school.
No, it was no team. 'Cause I was
also wrongly convinced into joining the swimming team by the same group of people.
I very much wanted to sink instead of swim.
Yeah,
I was not very very good at it.
I would get my coach would get on to me because I would
Where'd you learn how to swim?
I kind of know how to swim. I don't really know how to swim. I would kind of just doggy paddle. Like, I would just kind of, give one of these actions.
I learned how to swim in the swimming pool at the Ramada in Lawton, Oklahoma, when Dad was at Big Gun School.
Wow. See, I don't know where I learned how to swim. We had
Fort Sill.
a pool at our house when I was a little kid, like an above ground pool. I guess I don't know. I don't know where I learned how to swim.
You're counting yes, though, on swimming, though.
I'm definitely counting yes on
Okay.
swimming. I was on the swim team, so I definitely give that a yes.
Did you let her?
No, this was in middle school. This was. I only showed up for one meet, actually, for being honest. A pentathlon.
Don't really know what it is.
I don't
so
really
I'm
know
gonna say
either,
no.
so we're going to say no on that. Mountain biking.
No.
No, I have not mountain biked either. Rowing.
Well, isn't that canoeing?
Well, no, rowing's more of like a team,
Synchronized?
Yeah, it's more of like
With teammates?
Yeah.
Well, I had somebody in the front of the boat, and he was rowing.
Might throw another maybe on the board for you, though.
I better say no.
Yeah, I'm saying definitely no on that. Rugby.
No.
No for me.
Looks
as
way
well.
too physical.
It does look extremely physical. Sailing.
I've been in a sailboat, but I didn't do anything. I was just riding.
No, I think you got to do something.
Okay, that's a no.
Yeah, it's
That's
also a no for me. Shooting. Now this
16 gauge or 410 count?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I would say
varmints and stuff.
I would say that counts more than like just shooting like a pistol, because like
no, I've never fired a pistol. I don't think. I know I haven't.
I fired
or
a
high
pistol,
powered rifle.
But I've not shot in like an actual ones that they use or like a shotgun.
I'm
or
gonna say
anything close.
yes.
I'll say no.
Okay.
For me, skateboarding.
No.
I got a skateboard one year for a birthday, and I never ended up learning how to skateboard. I always wanted to, but I never ended up learning it. So that's also going to be a no for me. Surfing.
No.
It's going to be a no for me
Hard
as
no.
well. Synchronized swimming.
No.
It's also going to be a no for me. We're not doing very good at this, Brett. Table tennis. I've definitely played table tennis more than once.
Table tennis.
So like ping pong. Yeah, ping pong. That's correct.
Yeah, but I've done it, but I was terrible at it.
Oh man, I love me some good table tennis. So I'll say yes.
My hand-eye
that.
coordination. I mean, just
yeah. Taekwondo.
No.
No, it's also a no for me. Regular tennis.
Like Jimmy Connors.
Yeah, just like
No, never been on a tennis court.
I
have. You played?
I love tennis. I love playing tennis. Not like professional. Like I don't go to like a country
I'm
club
leading
and play
by
tennis.
2 right now.
I'll go to like a regular park and play tennis with my girlfriend, and it's not. I don't even know if someone walked by and watched it, they probably wouldn't say we're playing tennis.
A buddy
They'd be
of
like,
mine
you're just hitting it back and forth.
Canoeing at the Spring River doesn't count.
Well, I mean, we're gonna count it. Why not? Trampolining.
Oh no.
I've been on a trampoline before. I don't think that counts.
Let's
though.
count.
Okay, I'll count it. That's a yes.
Because it was
for me.
close with skateboards. You got
Sure.
one for a gift.
But I counted that a no. I did not count that a yes for skateboard because I never got on it. Triathlon.
No.
It's also gonna be a no for me. Volleyball.
I volunteered at a triathlon, but I did not participate.
I've never been in a triathlon. Volleyball. Regular volleyball.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, I've played volleyball once or twice in my life. Water polo.
Yes, at Fayetteville, intramural. Almost drowned, but it did. Yeah.
Wow, that's a no for me. I wish water polo looks
Co-ed
pretty fun.
water polo, no less.
Wow,
and that was one of the big hooks you played, and that's how I almost drowned.
I'm sure that was weightlifting.
Well.
Yeah, this one's a good. I mean, I don't know where to stand.
I'm going to
on
say
this one.
yes. I mean, I'm not Vasily Alexiev, but yeah.
I mean, I've lifted weights.
I've cleared
before.
it over my head.
Sure, I've never like competed.
Dang near died,
but I have definitely lifted weights before. So I
How
would
hard
put
a yes?
a yes, and then wrestling.
Well, I mean, not with the mat and.
No, I think
like,
this has to be mat and the whole 9 yards.
Wrestling with friends.
I don't know if I
the
can
Plunkett
count
boys
that.
and my big brother. Does that not count?
I don't know if that counts.
I
Seems
would
like
say
less
no, then.
form to that
Okay.
than regular standard wrestling. Definitely a no for me. I got pulled out of class one day and asked to be on the wrestling team because our football coach was trying to get a bunch of people to join the wrestling team, and I told them that's going to be a hard pass.
Do they have headlocks in the Olympic wrestling?
I don't think so.
I haven't.
I don't think so. I have a buddy listening in right now, and he is just hammering me on some of these things. I
I'm
know
18
you can't
yeses.
Weightlifting. You're not in the gym. Whatever.
I'm 18 to 16.
Wow, so you win.
Wow.
How about that?
I think what really did it for me was the archery. That was the tiebreaker.
No, that was a big one. I'm
not kidding you. There was a man over by his car that was not even watching.
Holy cow!
Went right over his head.
Wow, that's terrifying, actually.
In Viola, Arkansas, at Boy Scout camp.
How about that? I was never a Boy Scout.
I knocked out archery. I knocked out swimming.
Wow.
And one other merit badge that week.
How about that? Very eventful weekend.
Very busy.
Very busy. Well, like we said, we knew we were going to run out of time here with all of these sports. So let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll get right
Something we really know about.
Exactly, yes. I can't tell you much about many of the sports in the Olympics, but I can tell you a little something about college football. So let's get to a break. When we come back, we'll go through our early college football playoff predictions. We'll go 1 through 12, and then we'll break it down with results. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
At Vanguard, you're more than just an investor, you're an owner. So whether you're planning for retirement or trying to save up for your next big adventure, Vanguard will work alongside you to set personalized investment goals. That's the value of ownership. All investing is subject to risk. Vanguard is owned by its funds, which are owned
the reaction to that is
fund shareholder clients. Vanguard Marketing Corporation, distributor.
Women here in Memphis are wearing bigger, better quality diamonds and some amazing designer rings thanks to the arrival of Genesis Diamonds. Hey, it's Eric Hasseltine, and Genesis came on the scene here last year and shook up the jewelry world big time with rock-bottom prices on diamonds, a selection that's like 20 times ordinary stores, designer rings you can't find anywhere else, and guarantees and warranties that are the strongest in America. A relaxed, no-pressure, laid-back experience with no commission salespeople. Everybody here is loving what Genesis is doing. Whether you want a lab-grown diamond or a natural diamond, Genesis will easily beat anyone else's price. The owner is a former diamond wholesaler, and Genesis has cornered the market on the world's most acclaimed designer rings. They have all the top 10 designers in the bridal world, thousands of handcrafted rings made by the premier designers. For whatever special occasion you have coming up, don't go to the old-fashioned stores for the same old, same old. Discover the store that's raised the bar in quality, selection, and value. Prepare to be blown away. Genesis Diamonds on Poplar at Perkins Extended.
With all the uncertainty in the economy, the pre-election wobbles, is my money really safe? That's when I discovered the power of a gold IRA from Noble Gold Investments. It's a tangible asset that can help protect your wealth when times get tough. And with Noble Gold Investments, it was so easy to roll over my existing IRA into a self-directed gold IRA. Their experts guided me through every step. I diversified my retirement portfolio with something real. Don't wait for the election uncertainty to threaten your financial security. Vote for the timeless safety of gold and silver in 2024. Oh, and hear this. They're giving away up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account. Just visit noblegoldinvestments.com now and use the promo code TRUMP. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store with 20 employees along with complete inventory of items. Finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and River grills. And the Garden Center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, and the keys to a complete programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws. You need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has. You're just down the street at the corner of Wilson White Station.
Jason's Deli. When you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put in our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, vegan and gluten-free options available, convenience, and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Upper Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
All right, Brett. Well, we tried to get everything in one segment.
We knew we didn't have a chance.
No, we knew it. We were fools to ever think that we would be able to get all of that in. But the good news is we have plenty of time. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Our early college football playoff predictions for the first ever 12-team college football playoffs.
Final one until we have our one that we will really live with in late August. We had the way too early in January. We had the too early in May. And now we just simply have the early. My eventual champion has not changed in any of these. Okay. My Final Fours changed a little bit, and the first one was way out of whack because that's when we thought, and everybody else thought, the Mountain West would get the old Pac-12 champion slot, and they're not getting that. So here's mine. I have the champion of the SEC, Georgia, Big 12 champ, Oklahoma State, ACC champ, Clemson, Big 10 champ, Oregon, Group of 5 champ, the Memphis Tigers. The byes would be Georgia 1, Oregon 2, Clemson 3, Oklahoma State 4. First at large team, 5 seed Texas, 6 Ohio State, 7 Alabama, 8 Ole Miss, 9 Florida State, 10 LSU, 11th seeded the Memphis Tigers as the Group of 5 champ, and 12th at large Penn State. The Group of 5 is not necessarily just 12. It can be better than that. It could be, conceptually, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Doubt that will happen, no, regardless of who it is. But then after that, it could be in another seeded slot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I like that. I like that a lot. Kind of similar to where I have mine. I have my top 4 seeds. I've got number 1, Georgia, obviously representing the SEC, 2, Ohio State for the Big 10, 3, Florida State for the ACC, and 4, Utah for the Big 12. And then for my Group of 5, I have Memphis. So how it looks 1 through 12 is Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Florida State 3, 4 Utah, 5 Texas, 6 Oregon, 7 Ole Miss, 8 Penn State, 9 Alabama, 10 Missouri, 11 Miami, and then number 12, the University of Memphis.
And this is not a point of paranoia here. I have Alabama 11-1 and Ole Miss 11-1, and they don't play. I will never believe a committee would spit out Ole Miss ahead of Alabama if they're both 11-1 and they did not play.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on with that.
I got to live to see it, and I hope I make it to early December. So here's how I think the on-campus games would go. It'd be 12 seed Penn State at 5 Texas, with Texas winning. 11 seed Memphis at 6 seed Ohio State.
Holy cow!
On the banks of the old Intangy at the Horseshoe.
Cow.
Please tell me you would go.
Oh, I would definitely go. 100%.
If you had to walk.
Oh man, absolutely.
Number 10 seed LSU at number 7 seed Alabama, rematch from the regular season. I know that's not ideal, and I don't know how much funky stuff may happen in the committee room to dodge things like that. Number 9 Florida State at number 8 Ole Miss. Then the winners, number 1 Georgia playing number 8 Ole Miss in the Peach Bowl. Number 2 Oregon playing number 7 Alabama in the Rose Bowl at 4:30 Central Time on New Year's Day. Number 3 Clemson playing number 6 Ohio State on New Year's Eve night in the Fiesta Bowl.
Wow.
Number 4 Oklahoma State playing number 5 Texas on New Year's night in the Sugar Bowl.
Those would be some fun matchups.
Semifinals, number 1 Georgia over Texas in the Cotton Bowl. The number 5 Texas, number 7 Bama over number 6 Ohio State in the Orange Bowl. And my finals, what has changed with all of these teams? Number 1 Georgia over number 7 Alabama.
Wow, that would be a whole lot of fun. Let's see. For mine, I've got 12-seed Memphis versus Texas. That's a 5-seed Texas. I've got Texas beating Memphis. I've got 11 Miami versus 6 Oregon, with Oregon winning that one. 10 Missouri versus 7 Ole Miss. Ole Miss beats Missouri. 9 Alabama versus 8 Penn State, with Alabama beating Penn State. Then I've got Texas versus 5-seed Texas versus 4 Utah, with Texas beating Utah. 6 Oregon versus 3 Florida State, with Oregon beating Florida State. 7 Ole Miss versus 2 Ohio State, with Ohio State beating Ole Miss. And 9 Alabama versus 1 Georgia, with Georgia beating Alabama. Then in my semis, I've got 4 Utah versus 1 Georgia, with Georgia defeating the Utes. And then 6 Oregon versus 2 Ohio State, with Ohio State beating Oregon. And then in my national championship game, Ohio State, the 2 seed, versus Georgia, the 1 seed, with Ohio State, winning it all with this team that a lot of people expect big
Sweet
things
redemption
from.
for Ryan Day.
It sure would be.
They had Georgia 2 years ago.
They absolutely did.
That night, I don't know about over the whole haul of the season.
Yeah.
That night, Ohio State was better. And
They
as the
definitely were.
clock struck midnight,
Yep.
Georgia stole it.
Yeah, it's crazy. And seeing a bunch of videos of people with reactions right at midnight of that field goal, just unbelievable. So, yeah, that would be a lot of fun if we saw those two in the national championship game.
Who out of your bracket would have, maybe out of that 5 through 12 seeding, the biggest fit that we're seated here, we should be there?
I think probably in mine I have Alabama 9th. I think just with the dominance they've had in recent years, I think if they're, like you said, if they have the same record as Ole Miss, you think they would be over Ole Miss. If Alabama comes in at number 9 or something like that, and they have a similar record to teams in front of them, yeah, they'll be the one.
There are 2 TV brands that do not miss in ratings: Ohio State and Alabama.
That's right. Yep.
You could have them
That's right.
playing almost anyone, and they're going to get the preference treatment. In mine, and I'm sorry to say this, but I think it would be if Penn State were one slot behind Memphis.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If Memphis were in this scenario, I'd have Memphis 12-1, Penn State probably 10-2. they would be screaming our conference schedule versus theirs. But look, this is, you play the schedule you play.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But I think if we, from this year until we see this format change, I think if there is ever a time that a group of 5 team is placed in front of, that is not placed in that 12 spot, is placed higher than somebody, that fan base is going to have a fit. And I think one of the reasons is that I think you see a lot of people talking about the college football playoffs, and I rarely see anybody throw that idea out there that just because there is a automatic spot for the group of 5 winner, I guess you could say, representative, that doesn't mean it's locked in at 12. And so I think there are going to be a lot of people that just assume 12 is going to be group of 5. And if we get to a point where it's higher than 12, there are going to be a lot of fan bases very upset with that.
And that's probably the reality that it would be 12, but it conceptually, again, could be different than that, and it would create a lot of angst. But we know who the angst is coming from. We know the biggest screaming, hissy fit, and I don't know the team, but I know the slot, number 13.
Oh, yeah. Oh, whoever it is, if they come at number 13.
And I promise you, I've said it a couple times already, I hereby vow that if it's Ole Miss, I'm not having a sick headache and screaming about it. You know at the beginning the layout.
Yeah, no,
and
absolutely.
You just have very little room for error.
Mm-hmm. No, you absolutely do.
If it's just one loss, you're going to be in.
Yep.
But if it's 2, then
that's right.
that kicks off a bunch of, well, you beat this one and I beat that one, and then you're at the mercy of the committee.
And that's why, I mean,
don't lose 2.
Exactly, and you're going to see,
and you know that on July 26th.
And that's, a lot of teams are going to go into the season saying we need to be as perfect as we can be because of that. You lose 1 game, it starts to get a little questionable. You lose 2, and it's going to be an uphill battle, and it's so hard. I mean, I was telling somebody.
Make a case then.
Exactly. I was telling somebody the other day, I feel very confident about what the Tigers are going to do this year. But last week, I think I might have
more
been,
than I ever have.
Oh, absolutely. But I think, Brett, it was a day that you were out, and I think Zach and I were talking about the Tigers in this season, and I said, I think there's a really good chance that they go 11-1 this year. I feel very confident that they have the team that would be able to go 11-1 with that 1 loss being against Florida State. And after I said it, thinking about it, I was like, wow, I said that so confidently and so just it is what it is. Winning 11 games is very difficult in college football, no matter what team you are. And
but you have to do that, or you're outside looking in.
Exactly. And so it's gonna put a lot of pressure on a lot of teams this year, I think.
Yeah, 10-2 Memphis, I don't think has much of a case.
No, I don't think so.
1 loss in conference, 1 to FSU, and even winning the AAC championship game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think you've got to either be perfect. And that's not just the Tigers, Brett. I think that's any of the group of 5 teams. You either got to be perfect or 1 loss, or you're probably out.
Yeah, and there's a slot for you.
Sure.
It requires almost perfection.
Yep. You gotta be pretty close to perfect if you can be. But so
and no system's going to be perfect.
No.
But the media will rush to 13 complaining like they used to Seth Greenberg or Virginia Tech being left out of the tournament.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's gonna be the big thing for sure. But so next time we do this, Brett, it's going to be permanent marker, permanent pin. It's going to be the real deal.
Get ready for the red.
Get ready. Oh, man.
Marker, though.
Yeah, I loved you brought it up, and I'd almost kind of forgotten about it. But Johnny last year during the NCAA tournament with his red pin and just marking everything out. That's going to be.
He loved it.
We're gonna have to whip that out for our college football playoff.
So here's how mine broke down: 5 from the SEC, 3 from the Big Ten, 2 from the ACC, 1 from the Big 12, and 1 from the AAC being the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty close to how it's going to shake out. And let's see,
it could end up 4 SEC, 4 Big Ten.
Sure,
but I don't see how the Big 12 gets more than the champ.
Yeah, no, I don't either. And so, we'll see. I have two ACC teams with, Miami kind of being my wild card in there. So, yeah, I think it's going to be super top heavy with the SEC and the Big Ten. Makes sense. And then, I think I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw, one of the Big 10 or Big 12 or the ACC, get just one team. And I think that conference is going to be upset when that happens.
It's going to be some disappointed people come first Sunday in December. And if you're not in those playoffs, it's going to be some all-world ugly bowl performance.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, because we're already seeing it. And if you're out of the playoffs,
Mike Norvell had to go through it last year.
Sure did,
which was
awful. Yeah, it was awful. So it's going to be a lot of fun though. But we need to go ahead and get to our final break of the day, and when we come back, wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkham of Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. It's our 35th anniversary of Sunrise, and we're celebrating with savings that are bigger than ever. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from with huge savings. It's a used car buyer's dream. Check it out at sunrisememphis.com. Hundreds of used cars and trucks with a lot specializing in cars and trucks under $20,000. Bad credit? It's okay. You're approved at Sunrise. Remember, we specialize in secondary financing. New cars and trucks aren't free, but at least they're affordable at the 35th anniversary sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Coming from Pike, Blue Chase, and Collier.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
It's the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event, and you won't find a better bang for your buck. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike and get 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $17,980 or $299 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $26,530 or $379 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $26,530 or $379 a month. And get vacation ready in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $29,900 or $399 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
rebate, 500 loyalty, and 500 trade-in assist. Mirage, RHO 10843, MSRP 18480. Sport, RU1 11873, MSRP 28030. Outlander, RCO 63695, MSRP 314. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I'm with John Burgos from the world-famous Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948.
Brett, we have catered parties all over this country and all over the world, from Singapore, Australia, to Central Park in New York. But many people don't realize how much we do locally. For holiday events, office parties, tailgating, birthday parties, you can't do better than the Rendezvous. For example, you can get a cheese and sausage tray for 15 to 300 people for $3.75 per person. You can even build your own nacho bar for $10.50 per person. All you need is a minimum of 15 people. In many cases, we can arrange delivery and full-service catering. We've even made it easy to get to-go items. You can just park at our front door in the alley, put on your flashes, and we'll get you going ASAP. For all your catering items and prices, go to hogsfly.com, click on menu, and drop down to catering.
Thank you, John. The Rendezvous, Mr. Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous in the Alley since 1948 and celebrating its 75th year.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins!
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Well, Brett, what I learned today is there's a couple of teams that are super active the weekend before the Major League Baseball trade deadline. The Baltimore Orioles, one of those teams, they go out and add Zach Eflin. Orioles, a team that everyone's been talking about, needs more pitching in that rotation, probably both starters and in that bullpen. They go out and get a starting pitcher. They also go out, get a relief pitcher earlier this morning from the Phillies. They're doing some stuff. Also, the Seattle Mariners have been really, really active, getting Randy Arozarena and a relief pitcher from Toronto. So both those teams definitely getting us started for trade deadline. But Alan said it a couple hours ago. I think this is going to be a very busy trade deadline, not only from just the moves that are going to be made, but also just kind of the questions of what teams do what players are moved, where they're moved. I think we're going to have a lot of rumors about teams being involved with different players, and I think it's really going to start getting heated up this weekend. It should be a lot of fun keeping up with it.
What I learned today is Ra Thomas has to be close to being done at Georgia, and you have to wonder, will he show up somewhere else in time for August camp to open? Would somebody take a chance on him? I don't even know the eligibility around it. I don't think he could go to any other SEC place, but he could go somewhere else. But family violence charges for a second time. First time charges dropped. This time, I don't think he gets that fortunate.
No, definitely not. And that shouldn't. No,
if he's guilty.
You're right. Guilty. You're absolutely right. But that's exactly what I could have done without the news this morning. Ra Thomas arrested on battery and cruelty to children charges, which is just not easy to read. Anything related to children.
Second time.
Exactly. Once you remember that it's the second time, it's just not what you want to see at all. And so it's a good question. If he's guilty of this, he's definitely done at Georgia, and I'd be surprised if he lands somewhere else. But another thing from this is it kind of continues the idea of Georgia players and the trouble with the law. And
it's the only thing that can stop Kirby Smart's
It
dynasty.
absolutely is, and it's really getting in the way. A lot of them have been vehicle incidents, whether it's just reckless driving or driving under the influence, but it's definitely not a good look for Georgia.
Could have done without the Cardinals in almost no serious trade deals, certainly no blockbusters. 3 at home versus Washington this weekend. I think a must-win series. Get swept, they need to start listening to any deal. I mean, any deal. Helsley, Mason Wynn, Goldie, Arnado, anybody, if you get swept because you're not going anywhere and it's time to start building this team. This team's not close to being a World Series team.
No. I don't think anywhere close to being a World Series team. And so we'll see what happens this weekend for them and what they end up deciding to do ultimately in regards to the trade deadline. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to Paris. Let me hang with
yeah.
Snoop and Peyton all
That's right.
weekend. And
that
just
sounds
go
like
to
a couple
all
good
the
guys to hang with.
And just go to all those
Oh,
sweets, Eclair, confection shops.
Oh, yeah.
They have all those different cheeses that you can go and eat there. Just eat my way through Paris. That'd be fun. I'd want to go to basketball for sure. But I'd want to go to something else like swimming or track and maybe off the beaten path sport like judo.
Yeah, that's your sport, judo. I'm right there with you, Brett. Beam me to Paris for a game starting at 2 a.m. our time. Not sure what time that makes it in Paris, but a men's preliminary round in Group A of handball. Spain and Slovenia. I mean, that just sounds like a heavyweight brawl to me. So I'll beam there, and then obviously, like you're saying, after that, plenty of good action. A little bit later, a couple hours later, we've got the first men's basketball game of the day, Australia and Spain. So definitely super excited to start watching some Olympics.
Did I miss the bike ride around France ending last week, or is it this weekend?
I think you missed it. I think it's done. I could be wrong.
But they didn't finish on the Champs-Elysees because of the Olympics, right?
Correct. I think that's right, yes.
I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it.
I miss running with the Bulls in Pamplona? Isn't that around this time?
I can't speak on that. I can barely speak on the Tour de France because I'll be honest, Brett, I pretty much miss it every year, if I'm being honest.
We'll watch all things Paris at the Olympics. Best baseball series, we talked about Cleveland at Philadelphia. Sign me up right now for that being the World Series come late October.
Oh, man.
Cleveland's last two World Series, 1948 over the Boston Braves and 1920 over the Dodgers.
Wow. Holy cow. So, yeah, it's some really good matchups.
With two-player managers both times.
Wow. Throw the record books out at that point. I mean,
Lou Boudreau and Tris Speaker.
Good Lord. Well, it's going to be a really fun weekend with everything going on. Olympics, baseball.
Padres at Orioles, good series.
That will be a really good series. So definitely plenty of good stuff to watch. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi.